Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Commentary Hub's live coverage of this FA Cup fourth round replay between Sheffield United and Wrexham. I'm your alternative host, Nicholas Jones, and I'm delighted to have with me in the commentary box Trevor Sports and Chris Whiteman. But first, we're going to cross over to our pundit Russ Vernon, who's in the studio with me. Russ, good evening.
Evening, Nick. Evening, Trev. Evening, Chris.
So the replay could well be the night of destiny for Wrexham. How do you see this one panning out?
I think, Nick, it's going to be a good game. I think you saw the weekend Sheffield United. I saw the game against Rotherham of the weekend, Sheffield United, and they didn't really lay a glove on the Millers. So I think it's going to be a tough ask for them to try and get past Wrexham, especially the way Wrexham played in the first game. So for me, I think it's going to be a tough game for for Sheffield United tonight, and I can see Wrexham potentially, Nick, causing a shock.
Yes, indeed, that could well be the case, given how well they played at the racecourse ground. In the previous game. Top scorer Paul Mullin made it 3-2, just 4 minutes from time for those who don't remember. And Blades captain John Egan levelled for Sheffield United with just 2 minutes left. If the Blades don't get through, I don't think they'll be too disappointed if they go out this stage because their main priority is promotion from the Championship after being relegated from the Premier League a couple of seasons ago, and their last FA Cup win goes back to 1925.
It's going to be a tough game, as I said, for Sheffield United. Wrexham have been playing well recently in the National League. They almost won it in the first game at Wrexham, but you never know, Nick. In this one-off game today, we could see a shock. Sheffield United could prevail. But having seen them at the weekend, I think it may have got Wrexham win all over this, but don't ask me for a score, Nick, because normally if people ask me for a score prediction, I normally get the score wrong. So I'm going to go for one which Trev always likes, and I'm going to go for 4-4.
Okay, so 4-4. Will this also include extra time and penalties?
Yes, I think it's going to be 4-4 after 90 minutes. No more goals in extra time, and it's going to go to penalties, but I can't call penalties which way it's going to go.
Right, thank you very much, Ross. We'll have more thoughts. Later on. We're now going to cross over to Trevor Sports and Chris Whiteman. Gentlemen, good evening. How do you see this one pan out?
Good evening, Nicholas. Well, as the old saying goes, Wrexham fans, welcome to Sheffield. A fascinating contest between two sides that arguably had the match of the round in the last round. Replays are for special moments like this. The prize is Tottenham at home. For a non-league side, there's no bigger that than the potential chance to scalp a Premier League side. But for Sheffield United, they could be Premier League bound by the end of this season. 10 points behind the playoffs in terms of the Championship, but a fair few points behind Burnley, which I know is going to make my co-commentator here with me tonight, Chris Whiteman, just a little bit happy. And he's joining me on Trevor Sports as well as the Commentary Hub, and you can see him in his little box there. Chris, good evening to you. What are your thoughts on tonight's game?
Well, if the first game was anything to go by, then we should be in for another classic tonight. Obviously, late drama going into the previous game. Goal in the 86th minute. We thought they'd done enough, and then Egan came up in the 95th minute with more or less the last kick of the game to take us to a replay. It's a fascinating contest. Both teams lining up in a very attacking formation. Both of them having their own kind of player, either on a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2, which obviously is fairly flexible in this situation. So they're going toe for toe position-wise. So it should be a fascinating contest. And Wrexham, you forget these guys are a non-league team. So to go toe to toe with a team that looks like it's destined for the Premier League next season, they should be very proud to have at least held their own in the first game. And anything from this point is beyond expectation.
Well, expectations are certainly set high due to the fact that Wrexham themselves have their Hollywood owners. Rob McElhenney of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Ryan Reynolds, which I believe is known as the Deadpool around these parts. Hollywood owners, a documentary, a huge following in the United States. The game itself tonight is live on the States, so where it's recorded. Wrexham's FA Cup run is one of the highest rated footballing matches recorded in the States. So Wrexham very much twinned with California and New York at the moment. What do you think the difference that the two Hollywood owners, if we should call them that, have made to the club? Because they've certainly embraced life in Wrexham.
They have. It's nice to see owners that have gone in with open minds and really embraced the culture as such. I know, obviously, Ryan Reynolds is an interesting personality in itself. But over that particular neck of the woods, the other side of the pond, it's called a funny name, which I'm not going to say. But over here, obviously, I love the fact that he's embraced the whole, we're not English, we're Welsh. He corrected so many American pundits on that one. He was like, there's a big difference. So he's very much got well into being a football fan as well as being an owner. So I'm both of them have, quite frankly. And obviously, they've been spending a lot of their time and money on advancing Wrexham in terms of their facilities. Obviously, I think their stadium's having some work at the minute. I mean, they already had a fairly impressive stadium for non-league as it is, but it's going to get even better. And they're going to very much be... I mean, I'm surprised they didn't get promoted last year. They came ever so close. So I'm pretty sure they'll give it a good go this time round. And, you'll end up with 4 Welsh teams in the Football League, probably for the first time in a long time, if that happens. So, yeah, they're certainly a team on the rise. And the extra spotlight from 2 of Hollywood's megastars certainly helps show the exposure for this kind of thing. And it's a wonderful story.
It is indeed. Wrexham themselves, of course, the Kop demolished at the racecourse ground, and that's being rebuilt. And someone said that if Wrexham were to win it, they needed the home advantage. They won't have it tonight. Bramall Lane will be ready and waiting, but they'll be wary against the top-scoring non-league side in the FA Cup for 45 years. You've got to go back to the 1979 FA Cup run by non-league Woking when they scored 14, which is the same number of goals Wrexham on right now, which is astonishing, really, because apart from the Jam and McLaren, you're listening to the third most famous thing to ever come from Woking. What we should do in terms of how this game will be played tonight, it's important to understand this replay here. We're going to be with you till the bitter end, and we could have a bitter end for either side this evening. We will play a full 90 minutes. If there's no results, then we've got extra time. Then if we've got that, then it'll be the luck of a penalty competition to settle this contest tonight. In terms of goal scorers, or perhaps the second best goal scorer in the football pyramid at the moment, Paul Mullen on 27 goals. Do you think Sheffield United will be able to contain the Liverpudlian?
Well, they'll certainly know about him after the last game. Very nearly won the whole fixture. So if that wasn't a warning shot, I dare say they'll very much take him seriously this time round. But informed strikers are very much a thing. When they know where the goal is and they're finding it regularly, it doesn't matter what division they play in. If they're sharp and they're feeling it, they can find a goal from anywhere. So a man in form, Mullen, and he will probably be the danger man for Wrexham tonight. So I fully expect Sheffield United to show him all the respect in the world.
Yeah, 27 goals for Paul Mullen at the moment, and doing a fantastic job. Before we get going with the lineups, and we're just watching some of the shots, so just to let you know how you can interact with us here tonight, you're listening to live alternative coverage of this FA Cup 4th round replay between Sheffield United and Wrexham. You can listen to us on the Commentary Hub, or you can watch us on Trevor Sports. That's at Trevor Sports. Pop that into Twitter. Come and interact and join with the chat as we get going with the game. At the same time as well, feel free to comment whether you're listening on JB Sports or the Commentary Hub or Commentary Hub 2. We look forward to you. We've got Nicholas and Russ to give us some more halftime views on the games going. But first and foremost, let's bring you the team news today. And we'll start off with the home side today, Sheffield United. And they've got a Welshman in goal for them tonight. Adam Davis, number 30 years old, will start in goal. Playing for them today in a attacking lineup for them, we expect them to play with a back 3, is Chris Basham, Anel Anaholzic, and John Egan. In terms of their midfield today, well, they've got Jack Robinson, Ben Osborne, Sander Berge, Ismaili Koulibaly, and James McAtee lining up. And then in the attacking roles for them is their top scorer so far this season, Ilman Ndiaye, and their captain, Billy Sharp, Old Faithful. For Wrexham tonight, who sit high in the gods at Bramall Lane, watching this game. Rob Layton returns in goal for them. They've got, in terms of Wrexham, important to understand, they're playing a back five with 3 in midfield and 2 in an attacking role. Anthony Ford, Harry Lennon, Ben Tozer, Max Cleworth, and James Jones make up the back four. Luke Young, Andy Cannon, and Sam Dolby will make up the midfield. Jacob Mendy will be joined by Paul Mullin in the attacking roles. In terms of who's on both benches tonight for Sheffield United, they've got Wes Foderingham, Max Lowe, Oliver Norwood, Kieran Clark, Oliver Arblaster, Andre Brooks, Louis Marsh, and Joe Starbuck. In terms of Wrexham tonight, Big Ollie Palmer's on there, 14 goals this season, lines the bench along with Liam Mackeldon, Bruce Harsana, Thomas O'Connor, Butler, Jake Bickerstaff, Rory Watson, Aaron Lee, and Elliot Lee. Aaron James, my apologies, and Elliot Lee signed from Charlton, the former West Ham player, for tonight's game. The players will get ourselves to walk out and get going with the kickoff very shortly. Chris, I want to come to your predictions in terms of the game. How well do you think Wrexham are going to travel tonight based on the magnitude of this game? Because for Wrexham, the priority is escaping the National League. They're the longest standing National League member at the moment, but a cup run is something special, isn't it?
Yeah, and if I'm to be corrected, I think Wrexham are the oldest Welsh club as well, because I follow Sheffield FC, who of course are the oldest football club in the world, and they had a trip to Sheffield's FC's football ground earlier, because the world's first football club, greeting the Welsh's first football club. It was very much a thing that they like to do whenever they cross over. But for Wrexham, it's a interesting situation, because obviously they'll feel disappointed that they're at this replay, but at the same time, they're not expected to be here at this point. Sheffield United should have just brushed them aside on paper, but as we know, football isn't played on paper; it's played on grass. And it's a similar scenario for them both in terms of the FA Cup is a distraction from a promotion push. So, as much as they've got one eye on their respective leagues, they'll both be sitting there going, "Well, this is a good opportunity to get through to the next round." Although you would say that Sheffield United are probably up against it, being the favourites, being at home, being the higher division side. So Wrexham, I think, will have less pressure on them. They might feel like they shouldn't be here, perhaps, if they'd have defended, for 96 minutes. But it's the way the FA Cup is. It's magic. So hopefully we're in for another magical fixture this time round. In terms of prediction for a score, I mean, we had 3-3 last time, didn't we? So why not? Why not do it again, and just for 90 minutes, and then maybe score a few more in extra time? But this could go the distance, is what I'm saying. So, I reckon this may well be decided on penalties. I'm going to say 2-2 at 90 minutes is what I'm going to say with that one.
2-2 till 90 minutes, heading to extra time is the prediction. We've had 4-4 from Russ, which you can hear more of at half-time today. One thing to point out in terms of the FA Cup is what these two teams are playing for, and it's going to be Tottenham at home. So Tottenham will be back here at Bramall Lane or we get there. In terms of some of the updates, we are going to bring you some more updates as we get on throughout the day. There are also, obviously, of course, to remember, there are 3 other FA Cup matches taking place, and let's not forget about those. In terms of those games, well, Burnley are playing Ipswich, Fleetwood Town are playing Sheffield Wednesday, and Grimsby Town, they are playing Luton. We'll bring you any updates sporadically as we can throughout the night. And we'll keep up with that as we have another brilliant evening of FA Cup football. And we've got more of this to look forward to, because obviously the 5th round is played exclusively on a midweek fixture, as the FA tried to accommodate the priority perhaps that the Premier League in European football is slowly playing. Good evening to JB, who's joining us on Trevor Sports. And to everyone else, we want to know your views on this game. Who is your pick to win this? Give us your top tips. There's been a delay in kickoff, so that's why we feel like we're waffling for time, really. But no, we are waiting for the little delay in kickoff, and then we'll get going in terms of the contest. The match itself, no doubt about it, that the first game we had was fantastic. It was a really, really good game. It always points to me that a lot of people have said that that in terms of cup football, for an underdog story, you need little things to go your way. You need a luck of the bounce and so forth today. When these two sides met at the racecourse ground, it was Sheffield United that had the luck of the bounce. Ollie Palmer's wonderful hit crashing off the underside of the bar. In a change to that, where do you see Sheffield United getting through? How are Sheffield United going to beat this Wrexham side this evening?
I think there's two ways they can do it. They can hit them straight out of the gate, or they can wear them down, because it used to be the great old equaliser. The fitness regimes of the higher division side would normally come through in the end. Didn't really show itself, obviously, over 90 minutes of the previous fixture, but who knows, if it goes to, say, extra time, those tired legs and minds of a non-league side might begin to show. But non-league has come a long way in its own right with their clubs. A lot of them are clubs that are full-time now because they've been in the Football League before. So it's an interesting idea as to what Sheffield United could do. But it's really, they're matching up toe for toe, more or less, formation-wise. So it is going to be a case of who blinks first. Wrexham could go for it straight from the get-go. Who knows? But this is the magic of the FA Cup. We've got no idea what's going to happen. It should be another fascinating contest, and hopefully it'll be full of goals.
Well, both managers themselves know the fact that there's no if you've got your greatest advantage is the fact that you can attack. Why don't you attack? We're underway at the moment. To let you know, it's FA Cup fourth round replay between Sheffield United and Wrexham. Paul Heckingbottom, the manager of Sheffield United, and Phil Parkinson, the manager of Wrexham, are getting us going. Important to know here today that it is Wrexham that are in the change of kit today. They are in all blue, and it is Sheffield United that remain in their home kit, of course, affectionately known as the Blades, and they will be kicking us off. They are going from right to left, and it's straight away Wrexham that have a possession and a throw in just over on the far side, about a third of the way into the pitch. And it's important to understand for Wrexham, their big weapon will be big Ben Tozer's long throw, which he throws in and flick on at the moment, looking for Mullin. Just been denied at the moment, at the key moment. And the referees, both of them, as James Jones just decided to put his foot in just a little bit too much at the moment. And a little pass back by Sander Burge allows ball to be broken away by Lennon at the moment. Here is John Egan that got the crucial and heartbreaking goal from Wrexham's standpoint as the conclusion to the match happened. Interception made at the moment, and now it's broken away by Andy Cannon. That's an early ball over the top at the moment, and there's runs ahead of either man as it's bursting into the box. It's a good clearance, it has to be said. Chasing at the moment is Jones again. And it's claimed back. It's good early possession at the moment, but still possession yields pressures. Harry Lennon's put under it at the moment and loses it. Now it's a chance for Sheffield United to break away early. Early goal would settle a lot on nerves. Billy Sharp colliding in the area. Shouts not given at the moment. And Sheffield United continue to bring the ball away at the moment and pass it away. Sander Burge now into space at the moment, which is lined up by Ben Osborne. He passes it inside to Jack Robinson. Osborne again at the moment. Now a little ball inside, potentially looking for a little run from Ismail Koulibaly. Burge again, Osborne again. Comfortable on the ball, Sheffield United already pushing Wrexham back into their own half. It goes wide over on the far side. Cooley back at the moment to Anel Adzomovic to pass it forwards. And now at the moment is Jack Robinson. Under pressure, Cooley back, and Sheffield United easily at the moment comfortable on the ball, happy to play it away. JB Sports says there'll be 4-4 after 90 minutes, 6-4 after extra time, and Wrexham to wins on penalties. I don't think I've got the heart to be able to do that. I'm sure I'd lose my voice if that game was to persist. Still, I've got a willing debutant available at the moment. Here is Ismail Koulibaly. Lovely little touch inside, but it's just cleared away. Pressure here looking for Billy Sharp. Opening chance. Lovely little pass, and it's a good clearance that had to be made by James Jones of Wrexham. Ball is cleared away at the moment. Now it's picked up by Adam Holzvich. Here he is now, under pressure by Mullin. And certainly, whenever Sheffield United have got the ball, there's a Wrexham player diving on them to do their best to remove it. Here's Ismail Koulibaly. That's a clever little ball which is played forward at the moment into the middle of the park, made by Sander Burge. Now it's a little pass out wide, which is played through to Ismail Ndiaye. It's cut out at the moment. It's now broken through to Sam Dolby. But straight away, Sheffield United have picked the ball up. Burge again. Little pass out wide.
Oh, Nathan Teller, who's got Burnley off to a cracking start. 1-0, Burnley Ipswich.
Well, there you go. We've already got a goal. We've just it's at the wrong game at the moment, but there you confirmation. Keeping an eye for us is our ever-present Burnley connoisseur, who's told us about that goal. Andy Cannon here losing it, and the clearance trying to be made at the moment from Wrexham's standpoint, but it's just not going. It's Jacob Mendy that's found himself all the way back. Jacob Mendy, of course, a former Boreham Wood player. Just one goal to his name so far this season, as things stands. So Chris is going to keep us updated with all the goals as they fly in today, and hopefully we'll have a few to bring you over the course of the match. And that's what we're all here for, folks. Good football to be played by all. There is a little touch inside by Ismail Koulibaly. Chris Basham, clever little pass at the moment. Now to Osborne, under pressure. Easily back to John Egan. And Sheffield Wednesday comfortable with the ball, keeping it just on the halfway line. Wrexham certainly hanging back.
Ipswich have equalised. What is going on there?
Well, we might be at the wrong game,
George
ladies
Hurst
and
has just
gentlemen. We'll wait and see.
Dear
It's
me.
1-1 at the moment between Burnley and Ipswich. Goodness gracious. Is there a scoring opportunity? No, it's a good header away by Max Cleworth. Gets it over the top at the moment. Sharp here. Was he pushed? No, says the referee. But in the end, Cleworth wasn't able to deal with it, and it's gone out. And that is, as things stand, an early throw in, which is coolly taken. This is Osborne for Sheffield United. Koulibaly. Obviously, Ismail Koulibaly that we are talking about here from Mali, the number 17. This is Sander Berge. Clever little pass, just able to get it just around past Sam Dalby of Wrexham United. Now it is Chris Basham to bring it forward and look for the return. Can Basham get there? Mendy put him under pressure from Wrexham. And in the end, it's not the case. It's gone out. It's a goal kick. We've played just under 6 minutes. It's Sheffield United 0, Wrexham 0. And that was a good little football exchange there.
Yeah, it was. They're definitely using the overlap well as Sheffield United. It's opening up all kinds of space behind the defence, and it's forcing Wrexham to be a lot more conservative with their formation. So they're looking to just stretch the defensive barriers that are in front of them just to see where the space is. And, it's early doors. So it's just a little bit of, it's the equivalent of a jab. They're just doing a few jabs, seeing where the gaps are. I dare say they'll look to build on it.
Well, Rob Layton with a long, high goal kick. Well-established Wrexham player has signed at the start of the season before last. Early touch at the moment for Jones. Now it's out wide at the moment to Ford. And Ford's just been caught out by Osborne. Chance to break Ismail Koulibaly to bring it forward for Sheffield Wednesday. Now it's Ndai. Now Osborne, who's seeing a lot of the football at the moment and quite coolly. John Egan, little pass across. And confirmation at Turf Moor, it's Burnley 1, Ipswich 1 at the moment. That's the only other goals that we've seen. Played 7 minutes of this fourth round tie, and they're flying in just a few miles up the road, to be fair. Sheffield United, of course, hoping to return to the Premier League after being relegated in 2021. Famously, heartbreakingly relegated in 2007. This is an early run. Had to be cleared away at the moment in the standpoint there of Harry Lennon. It was a good run that was made into the box here, and Sheffield United, just by using the overlap, were able, as you said, Chris, to find some space.
It's just that they're very much overloading the three central defenders, if you'll call them central in this kind of formation. So, yeah, just stretching the back line just to see where the space is. And they found a bit there. Not quite enough to create a great chance, but they forced a corner out of it.
Well, the corner is being set. It will be Osborne to take. He's just waiting for the ball, actually. It turns out that it's all gone missing at the moment. They're hoping to get hold of it again. Here is Osborne to walk over and take the corner. For those that are tuning in on Trevor Sports, thank you all very much. What are your thoughts on the game? What are your predictions? Get involved in the chat. For those who are listening, it's alternative FA Cup coverage here on the Commentary Hub. And we welcome everybody that's tuning in to us. You've got myself, Trevor Davis on commentary. Next to me, it's CW, Chris Whiteman of the Rev Solution and the Virtual Sports Network. Osborne raises his right hand, swings the corner in. It's swinging away from the goalkeeper. The header is down and just about cleared away at the third attempt. It was a good header, I do have to say. There's no VAR, so it was a struck. Mullins at the moment, diving in at the moment to get past Chris Basham. And now Mullin, just didn't quite have the touch. Yes, he does. It's still Mullin. Options over on the far side. Looks for Jacob Mendy. Finds him now at the moment for Wrexham. First time they've really got into the Sheffield United half. Ball across the box. Cut out first time. Mendy going low at the moment. Didn't quite work out as he'd hope at the moment. Lennon. Now it's a chance for Jacob Mendy to continue his run yet again. Clever little pass. Was looking for Luke Young, but it was just stabbed away at the last second. Here's Lennon. His little pass is now played out into the far side. It's gone through the middle of the pitch again. Clever little footballs. Luke James made a very interesting run, but it's now allowing Sheffield United to break. Here's Billy Sharp to move forward. He's got options ahead of him. Here is that option. And it's back to Sharp, and it's just cleared away just at the last second at the moment. Well, Sharp was looking for the chance. Here's Sander Berge. And it's still Sheffield United to break it away. James McAtee, his strikes Lennon, and now Wrexham with a long clearance, and that's Mullin again getting involved. A proper old-fashioned centre forward throwing himself out and trying to get involved. But there's Billy Sharp that had the break. And
we have a goal. Grimsby have just scored against Luton. Harry Clifton has set up a potential upset.
Goodness me. Well, the goals are flying in, folks. One, if they're going to fly in at Bramall Lane, we'll have to wait and see. Have we just jinxed ourselves with a 0-0 going the distance? You never know. Launched many a man's career a good 0-0. We'll wait and see if that is the case. Here's Wrexham with possession. That's a clever little deft pass, it has to be said. And Billy Sharp's led it back to Osborne. It does really well to keep the ball in. And just ahead of him at the moment was James McAtee. And that's gone out under pressure from Ilman and Dye. And at the moment, Chris, I have to say, in terms of Sheffield United's play, Ben Osborne's been a really bright player at the moment.
Yeah, he's really hugging the touchline on this near side and causing all kinds of problems to the defence. So he's just going to keep at it. At some point, the defender will make a mistake. They've done really well so far, Wrexham, to keep the ball sort of out of the danger zone, but it's always difficult to keep that out of the danger zone from a corner.
Well, it's Osborne again to take the corner. Both hands raise up. Looks to curl the way. Goes deeper this time. There's the header, and it's a good save by Rob Layton. The header was low and down to him after it was well climbed in the air, but it wasn't to be at the moment. And that was a good effort, it has to be said, by John Egan. Got to be wary for him, Wrexham. Scott says us on the Facebook chat, on the YouTube chat, on Trevor chat as it is. I think the Blades are being polite as thousands are trying to get into the stadium. Of course, that's why the delay in kickoff was put in place due to the fact that some players just struggling to get into the ground at the moment. But if they are in, what they're starting to see at the moment, as we've just coming up to the opening 12 minutes, is the home side, Chris, starting to really get a grip on the game.
Yeah, they're definitely dominating the possession and dictating how this game's going at the minute, and they've got another overlap chance here.
Well, this is Adam Hovich just looking to put the ball into the box. Lovely little control at the moment by Ndai. And it's teasing ball in there, looking for Billy Sharp. Just turned on a sixpence and looked to curl it across the face of the Wrexham defenders, but in the end, it wasn't quite in there. Ilman Ndai, 10 goals for him. He's their top scorer at the moment. But in the end, Billy Sharp was just offside. I didn't see a linesman flag, mind you.
No flag, no. But then there's no VAR, so we're just going to get the honest opinion of the officials today. So. But yeah, they're just forcing that crossing opportunity at every opportunity they get. Should I say? I've said it twice in a sentence, but there we go. They're enjoying creating crossing opportunities. Is the basic from that one. Although Wrexham could come away here.
They can't. Options out wide. If Mendy could find him, he can't at the moment. It's more chances for Cannon. Now it's back to Mendy, who's looked lively when he's had the ball. Quite happy to take on Birch. Back into Cannon, looking back for the run of Mendy. But in the end, it's well ushered out, of course, by Chris Basham. And Sheffield United have the goal kick. And in terms of the opening few moments, Paul Heckenbottom, he's got to be pleased with how his players have started this.
Yeah, it's very much a case of don't give Wrexham anything to build on from the get-go, more or less. So they've just kind of kept the ball, made sure that they've been smart with it most of the time. Wrexham have had a couple of isolated chances to get forward, but they haven't really done anything with it. But then Sheffield United have been limited to that one chance from the corner. So both teams just still playing the safe game at the minute. Wrexham were always going to be the team to sort of sit back a little bit to begin with. So it's very much going as the script would say at this point, I suppose.
Here's Billy Sharp for Sheffield United. Will Sheffield United read the script, or will it be Wrexham's opportunity to go and break the mould? Little run jinking into the area. Appeals that have been made from Ndiaye, but it's not been given. Cross towards the far post. It's headed away by Mendy that has got there. Now it's Cannon, number 20, to break it away. Cannon slams the ball away, but in the end it's picked up coolly and calmly by John Egan of Sheffield United. Now it's a chance for Luke James. That's a clever little pass into the middle of the pitch, which is met by James Jones. He looks to try and play through to Mullin. Good defending. Really good defending by Jack Robinson. Came across and just denied Paul Mullin the opportunity to burst through. This is Ismail Koulibaly. And Ismail Koulibaly's pull is picked up wide. It's now picked up by Sander Berge in the middle of the pitch, and he continues to just... I
can't believe you missed the opportunity to say that Cannon fired it away. You had an open goal for that sentence.
I believe you'll find I've made a cannon and ball joke there if you look carefully. But there we go. We'll move into the puns as they arrive. And they are going to arrive a lot this evening, ladies and gentlemen. So, folks, hope you're all enjoying this one. This is Osborne and Billy Sharp there, just looking to move with the back heel. Not quite gone to plan at the moment, but so far in terms of how this game is planning out, it is certainly defence versus attack, but a counter-attacking setup by Wrexham. Here's Robinson, take the throw. Little flick on at the moment by Ndiaye, and the early volley by Billy Sharp was well marshalled by Rob Layton. Second attempt on anger, shot on target at the moment for Sheffield United. It was good work in the yard by Ndiaye, who really did act the role of a target man. Billy Sharp coming in as the poacher. Rob Layton proving why he's the goalkeeper. Wrexham go long. It's Ben Osborne under pressure at the moment. Oh, Luke Jones coming forward. Mendy's come forward. Oh, it's just played out of the reach of the darting Sam Dalby. And in the end, Adam Davis of Sheffield United is able to clear the ball away coolly and calmly. Here's Koulibaly again, who's seeing a lot of the ball for Sheffield United at the moment. And the Blades, of course, Sheffield United famously once met Sheffield Wednesday in an FA Cup semi-final. A fantastic game won by Wednesday 2-1, who went on to lose both the League Cup and the FA Cup finals to Arsenal that season. And 30 years on, the same thing happened to Chelsea with Liverpool. Of course, an Andy Linnigan goal denied a penalty competition in that which was the last FA Cup final to go to a replay. Oh, lovely little run at the moment by Ndiaye. Oh, the effort has been well struck and well marshalled. Harry Lennon making the block. Looping ball in, which is well left. And it's more pressure arriving at the moment. There is Jack Robinson. And he's just picked the ball up and looking to float this in. But this is real good work for Ndiaye. He's looked really lively today, Chris.
Yeah, they're looking pretty feisty, the strikers for... Well, should I say the attacking players for Sheffield United. Billy Sharp getting on that early chance a few moments ago where he didn't quite keep it as clean as he liked, kicked it as clean as he liked, should I say. But they're definitely very punchy.
Well, there is going to be many opportunities to show what you can do in this game on the basis that we do think that this may well go the distance. Rob Layton again going long for Sheffield United, looking for the flick on. Eventually, the second ball is one. I'm sure Phil Parkinson has talked to his players lots about winning the second ball. But in the end, Luke Young has lost it. The run being main forward by James McAtee. Lovely little layoff to Billy Sharp at the moment. Left-footed cross into the box. Oh, it's good defending in the end. Coming in at the last second there was Ben Tozer for Wrexham. This is Sander Berge, low across goal. It's cut out first time by Harry Lennon again. Another excellent bit of defending as Wrexham put on the pressure. And Mullin, well, that's a good bit of old-fashioned footballing, grafting, is able to win the foul and get Wrexham a free kick just short of the halfway line, showing good pressure at the moment. And you can see there, he's an old pro. He knows exactly what he's doing. and he was able to go and get the better of Adam Hosevic with that one. Paul Mullen, of course, 27 goals this season. Really is knocking them in for fun at the moment. And Rob Layton, the Wrexham goalkeeper, has come forward. Looks like they're going to go long and cross field. They're looking for Mullen. He gets a flick on. Here he is now. Now it's gone out wide to Andy Ford. And Ford there was cut out, and that's good defending by Koulibaly. Now Sheffield United can break the ball away. Here comes Ben Osborne. Billy Sharp. Clever little pass. Back to Sharp again. Looks for the ball outright. This is Ilman Ndiaye. Early ball into the box, but in the end, the run on James McAtee was just not able to be picked out by Ndiaye, and Leighton guards it well. And we've played 90 minutes of this FA Cup 4th round replay between Sheffield United and Wrexham. We had a goal within a minute when these two sides met. Sheffield United had scored early, but the second half was where the action happened. They always say the second half of the film is always the best, but in Hollywood, it's never always quite the sequel that's good. Let's hope this is very much Terminator 2 that we're seeing tonight, as opposed to Rocky 5.
We've got an update from Fleetwood Sheffield Wednesday. Promise Omachair has just hit the woodwork for Fleetwood. So Sheffield Wednesday not having a good time down the road. I say down the road, not too far away from Burnley. Down the road from them at Fleetwood. Highbury, the other Highbury that people have to get used to. I mean, if you're born sort of after 2006, you won't understand that reference. But once upon a time, there was another Highbury.
There was indeed a Highbury, which was feared by many clubs. Rob Layton's been put under pressure, and then Ndiaye comes in, and in the end, it's a good clearance that had to be made by Andy Ford. But it's certainly a case that whenever Sheffield United have got the ball, they're comfortable on it, and they're happy to move it around. But that's a lovely pass that wide, but it's just not quite been read by James McAtee. Coming back to clear is... I'll come to that very shortly. Andy Ford's got it away. Here's Koulibaly for Sheffield United. Adam Hosevic to Koulibaly. Pass goes out wide into the channel at the moment for Robinson. Little layoff again. Oh, and Ndiaye there just slipped just at the final moments, just when you thought, so no foul given. Options out wide again. Options come through the middle. You can't mistake him. That's John Egan. Here's Ndiaye. Egan continues his run forwards. Ndiaye at the moment continues to take on Luke Young. Got support at the moment. Here it arrives. Ndiaye again. It's looked very lively. He's enjoying himself at the moment. But the chances have arrived for Sheffield United, but the goals haven't. And that's got to give Wrexham hope, unless this hope can be shattered for them in this moment. It won't be. There was a turn. There was a strike in the end by James McAtee. But in the end, the strike is high wide and not terribly handsome, really.
He caught it well enough in terms of the power, but the accuracy was he nearly took a steward's head off. So half a chance, but if he catches that cleanly, I think the goalkeeper's probably got it covered. But nonetheless, Sheffield United certainly having pretty much all of the chances so far. I think Wrexham have yet to trouble their opposition goalkeeper.
Yeah, Adam Davis for Sheffield United, the only Welshman on the side for Sheffield United. And then to be fair, there's only one Welshman in the starting lineup for Wrexham, and that, of course, is Max Clareworth at the moment. But with the Hollywood owners comes a Hollywood budget, and they can certainly sign some top-class players for the National League. Very much looking like it's between Wrexham and Notts County for who will make their way automatically into the Football League. And of course, the playoffs to go, and Chesterfield and Woking are all involved and going strong at the moment. And dare I say it, mighty Aldershot are 4 points away from the playoffs. That's going to get squeaky bum time for us fans on the East Bank, but we'll move on from Trevor Sports' favourite side. Johnny Ewan, a clever little part into Sander Berge. It's able to run into space. This is Koulibaly. Lovely little shimmy at the moment to try and take the ball away from Luke Young of Wrexham. Gets it now back inside. There's Koulibaly again. That's delightful as well. And Osborne again offering the support. The cross itself isn't great by Jack Robinson, but the referee has said there was a deflection and it has gone out for a corner, and Sheffield United continue the pressure, Chris.
Yeah, it's all out wide at the minute, isn't it? Just mainly from this near side on the left for Sheffield United. They're just properly applying the pressure. But so far, Wrexham have held up well, but they'll besiege it continuously, and eventually it'll break. Although, the way things are going, it could go on all night. But another corner.
It is Osborne's corner, floats it in again. Another header which is flicked on. This time the clearance is made at the moment by Sam Dolby. Allows Osborne again to cross again. Left-footed, whips it in. Headed away first time by Tozer. Sander Berge for Sheffield United. His cross is low. It's cut out at the near man. Needed to go better than that at the moment, to be said. Koulibaly. Now there's a little touch by McAtee. Long looping ball for the header in and a header away off the line. That's Tozer again. Second attempt came in at the moment. It's Bantam Mullen, who was just trying to turn John Egan, but was brought down by him. What will the referee's actions be here? He's just going to allow play to happen. It is not going to go and punish anyone for this. Referee today is Lee Doughty. And this was the header. And it was Tozer that got the header away.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it came off the defender. So I think if Sharp had got there first, that would have probably been our goal. But not this time.
Well, here's Jacob Mendy now for Wrexham. Here is Tozer, who has a Rory Delap-like long throw. Really is a real weapon for them if they require it in the game. Flick on looking to be made by Dolby. But Burge reads it and tries to bring it away. Now here is Koulibaly, number 17, outside of the foot. That's a delightful little ball straight away. James McAtee. Try not to say James McAteer when he's got it. Burge moving forward for Sheffield United. He's forced out wide, forced back in. The long strike, and it is a very, very long strike that arrives from Ismail Koulibaly. Flies a long way over the bar, and it is an attack versus defence at the moment.
That is very much a case of high, wide, and not at all handsome. I don't think he stayed on his feet either. He slipped as he hit it. It's smackers of desperation a little bit, perhaps a little bit of frustration for Sheffield United there, that they haven't quite broken through Wrexham's defence properly yet. So it's 25 and a half minutes in, and it's Wrexham holding firm at the minute, which is probably what their game plan was for the first half an hour. You would think, but they're still yet to cause any problems on the attacking side of things.
Well, there's plenty of time to change that. Scott from Sheffield United fans, this has been a problem for them all season. Plenty of the ball with no impact in front of goal. Just lets you know how important it is to have a top-class centre-forward available. Of course, we saw a top-class centre-forward getting a record-breaking goal on Sunday. Harry Kane's goal to beat the great record of the great Jimmy Greaves was live here on Trevor Sports. I shall go through some more scores during the next minute of break and play, but we're going to wait for this break for Robinson that flicks it back to Sander Berge for Sheffield United. That's a cool little pass, which is made, of course, for Adam Hovic. Little pass looking for the run of Ndai, and the deflection here is broken right to the heart, and Jacob Mendy's got to do something for Wrexham. No need to do so. It's another long-range strike, and it's starting to look like a bit of a frustrated Sheffield United side here, and they had the luck of the draw, but the finish just wasn't applied, was it?
Yeah, another long-range shot where the striker's leaning back. Wasn't ever really going to trouble the goalkeeper, but it's starting. A bit of frustration is starting to set in for Sheffield United. They just need to calm it down because there's still plenty of time to go yet, and it's 0-0. We don't need to get silly.
No, James McAtee that. I'll go through some of these scores as the updates as we all hit the 27th minute. Burnley and Ipswich is 1-0 at the moment as things stand. Fleetwood and Sheffield Wednesday are 0-0. Grimsby are leading Luton by a goal to 0. The game you're watching, Sheffield United and Wrexham, is currently 0-0. Oh, just needed a flick on Cannon looking to find Mullen, but it wasn't the case at the moment. And now Anthony Ford comes across to make an interception. This is Ben Tozer. Left-footed, plays it back to Rob Layton, who will have to clear this and does so. Gets it well over the halfway line. So not often I've seen a side play long ball as good as this. Here is Paul Mullen at the moment. Little turn by Mullen. Shot by Mullen. I got very excited. The first sight we've seen for the non-league side today. It was a good long ball that was played through to Mullen. He did well battling against John Egan. Lovely little turn to beat Adam Hovic, but the finish wasn't quite there, Chris.
I think it took a deflection, so I think they're going to get a corner out of it. Yeah, definitely took a flick. So yeah, they've got their first sort of major chance here to cause some havoc in the box.
Well, set pieces. Underdogs have won FA Cups with set pieces. Here's Luke Cannon, the captain tonight for Wrexham. And it is headed away first time from a Sheffield United defender. Back into the mix at the moment by Cannon. Oh, Ford
That's a
lost it.
hospital pass.
It's a disaster at the moment. Breaking away at the moment is the big moment. It's James McAtee. Oh, he's missed it. Goodness
What a
me.
miss.
James McAtee was through hospital pass. It's the best moment of the game that's arrived. And McAtee, well, for whatever reason, his radar eluded him on this situation.
Goodness me, what a sitter. Grimsby have scored a second, but this hospital pass here, definition of it, not enough power on it. And then it's a 2-on-1 situation. He's not helped by the fact that his man to his left goes ahead of him, so he would have been offside. So he has to go it alone, and he's just not quite found the target. A post width away from making it 1-0. Big chance. Big chance.
I have to credit Rob Layton for getting himself out and diving in at the last second. That's a really, really good bit.
Danilo Orsi has doubled Grimsby's lead. Touched on it a moment ago. Second goal for the League Two side against Luton. They are flying at the minute.
Well, Grimsby. What a performance it could be for them and a good cut run. But Luton Town, for all the grief and stick that they do get for Kenilworth Road, could potentially find themselves in the playoffs again. Don't forget, they're not far. A good run, and we could see them in the Premier League next season. Here's Burge. Little pass out wide, Sheffield United by Robinson. Now it's McAtee that's had the best chance of the game. Sharp trying to look for the ball back in, but it's well cut out. And it'll be a corner. Good defending. Oh, but you've got to feel there for James McAtee. That was a delightful chance for him to get the goal, and you suspect that may calm a few nerves. We've played half an hour. We've got 1/3 of this game complete, and we've got the 2 final thirds to go. It feels like we've got the second part of a sequel, but this is the gritty one as opposed to the Hollywood one. Osmond's ball in towards the far post. Good defending by Tozer to getting away. Now it's a chance for Andy Cannon, who has ball at hand, into Mullin. Mullin flicks it back. Lovely, delightful. Now it's into Cannon. Options ahead of him at the moment is Sam Dolby, but Cannon looks to play it back to Mullin. It's comfortable on the ball. Cross, good clearance, it has to be said, by Robinson. And a good old-fashioned thump halfway across the pitch. But Wrexham just starting to press forward at the moment. Oh, Mullin's found himself out wide at the moment. I'm not quite sure Sam Dolby wanted to hit as much of that as he did. It's Mullin's ball in. It's low. It's cut out in the near post by John Egan. Now competing is Young. Here is Tozer for Wrexham. Suddenly they've started to wake up and starting to make a bit of a go in this match. Mendy at the moment trying to get through. That's a pass which is made away by Adam Hovic. Wrexham perhaps showing their best bit of football by chasing everything down. There's Mullen at the moment chasing down Adam Hovic, and Adam Davis clears it, the Welshman for Sheffield Wednesday. Mendy, the little flick on, but his flick on's only into space, and it's picked up at the moment by John Egan. Here is Koulibaly. Now it's a clever little pass inside to Robinson, who's comfortable on the ball at the moment. This is Adam Hovic. Now it goes out wide. And you can already see here that Paul Heckenbottom's wanted his side to get themselves back into this slowly. Good header out of trouble there by Max Cleworth. And the clearance is made by Andy Ford. The final touch at the moment was a Wrexham's. The referee says that's a Sheffield United throw, which is taken quickly. Here's Jack Robinson. Left-footed. It's cut out. And now Cleworth, that's another important touch for him, but it's a throw in the final third of the pitch as we get towards the final 10 minutes, as we near enough of a first half in this replay, which, remind you, has to be settled tonight. If it goes to extra time, we'll stay with you. If it goes to penalties, we'll be with you every step of the way. And penalties has been the prediction for a few today, as I believe I've just seen a pigeon fly past the camp. I hope he's going to be nice and safe. Here's Burge. And look lively when he's had the ball. Koulibaly for Sheffield United. Passes it across the middle of it to Burge. There's options out wide. Burge has just seen it now. Here does come the pass across. It's a bit of miscontrol to be said by Adam Hosevich, but the referee's unmoved, and the throw-in goes Wrexham's way. Wrexham will be very pleased to have possession.
Wrexham wanting a handball shout on this one. And it would be harsh, but I've seen them given.
There you go. And if you've got your football bingo list, seen them given, you can tick that off because, let's be honest, that does happen more times than we care to admit. Sheffield United 0, Wrexham 0. You're listening to live alternative commentary here on the Commentary Hub in association with Trevor Sports. FA Cup fourth round replay between Sheffield United and Wrexham. It was 3-3 in the game that was played at the racecourse. It's 0-0 at the moment, and we're still yet to see a goal. Harry Lennon just charging back after coming forward and winning the ball back well for Wrexham. Sheffield United will have an opportunity to take the long throw, which Chris Basham will take. No, he goes short, in fact, and wins the throw further up. A bit of a Six Nations tactic, going ahead and winning possession further up. Coming up to 35 minutes, and Paul Heckingbottom of Sheffield United will be wondering that his side have missed the best chance of the game. James McAtee through, one-on-one when Rob Layton has put it wide. Wrexham yet to test Adam Davis at the moment. Basham and Dye. Here he is again. And Dye, little pass through the legs. And Dye looking to run on and doing really well. Lovely little pullback. Letton, that is a fantastic save. Fantastic stuff. There was the effort in the end by Adam Hosevich. Rob Layton has made an outstanding save, diving low. It's the stuff of schoolboy dreams, that is, Rob Layton. What a fine save.
That is top-level goalkeeping there. He's not got much time to react. It's 6-7 yards out at full tilt, that volley. Half volley, it's low. He gets something on it, but there's another chance. Here we go.
Oh, there is a chance for Dye. Sharp! And Sharp's effort is hit right into the arms of Rob Layton, who's already having, and when you feel if they were to get through, would have to have a really top-class game. This was the pass. In the end, the shot from Koulibaly, and then Sharp, but it's right at Layton, and Wrexham fans will breathe a sigh of relief with that one.
They will. Billy Sharp caught that one nicely. He just got his angles all wrong. And there's another chance. Here they go, relentless. They're putting the pressure on.
Ilman and Dye bursting forward at the moment, going one-on-one with Harry Lennon, looking for Burge, but it's well cut out at the moment by the Wrexham captain, Luke Young. Now it's into Mullins. Lovely little turn and hits by Mullins. It gets by Adam Hosevich at the moment. Full of running here, the Liverpudlian. Little pass, it has to be said to Dolby. Looking for Lennon. Oh, Mullen again. It's been cleared away at the last second by John Egan. And Wrexham show they're a force to be reckoned with on the counter-attack here.
I think Mullins sent Berg for chips on the halfway line. He just did a little dummy, sent him the wrong way, found himself another 10 yards of space after that. Fantastic build-up from Mullen.
Brilliant and good there for John Egan to clear, but it does lead to a second Wrexham opportunity to take a long throw, and I guess they're lining up to it here. So this is Ben Tozer. He's known for these. These cause all sorts of problem in the National League, and he's getting himself set. Watch this. This will be like a free kick and himself. Tozer's long throw right into the mix. Mendy with the flick on, cleared away. It's come back to Tozer, who's got it on the edge of the area. Decides to shoot left-footed. It took a deflection right in front of Adam Davis that has made the save, and it's ended up being a cool and calm effort. But Wrexham are starting to come out of their shells and starting to give this a real good go. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We are threatening here to have a fascinating second half. It feels like it really is just starting to get going. But you wonder if, from a standpoint of the neutral, the home side were to score at half-time, I wonder if the away side would have enough. We shall have to wait and see. This is McAtee that's missed the best chance on his left foot, tries to go on again, and this side doesn't quite have the coolness to play it away. Ben Tozer will coolly play it into space. Mullen here trying to turn Egan in every opportunity. Dolby trying to chase down for Wrexham. Basham. Now this is Sander Burge. He's got options inside. He goes out wide, and he's just about caught Ben Osborne in space. Now it's McAtee. His low cross is cut out first time by Max Clareworth. It's more heroic defending from Wrexham. Reminder, Wrexham are in the National League. Sheffield United are in the Championship. 70 places separate these two sides, and they're on the verge. Sheffield United, you feel, of qualifying outright for the Premier League. That's if the National League has a new team joining them next season in Manchester City, which we'll wait and see. Here's the corner, which comes in again. There goes the header. The header is high, wide, and handsome from John Egan. Another corner was floated in by Ben Osborne. Sheffield United have looked lively in the air, though, tonight, Chris.
They have, but again, they're just lacking that final touch, aren't they? Just a calm, collected head, quite literally in this situation, to finish off a great opportunity. Other news from the other team in Sheffield: they've just hit the woodwork against Fleetwood. So both teams in that match have rattled both the post and crossbar. Lee Gregory nearly scored on that one, but we're just seeing a replay again of that chance. Who was it? I can't tell who it was running with him, but he just strays ahead of him, so he can't pass it to him. And he's forced to take it on himself.
Yeah,
so, it's a tough one.
It's Ilman and Dye. If he, and you are spot on here, Chris, if Ilman and Dye checks his run, then McAtee can just roll it across to him and Dye scores inside an empty net. But that's the experience you need, and that's the instincts you have when playing at centre forward. It's all about learning to play where the offside opportunities arrives and to play within the rules as best you can. As a football manager once said, to me, you've got your yellow cards, use them. And Mendy does well to head the ball away as Chris Basham was charging in at the far post for Sheffield United. Jacob Mendy today, former sign from Boreham Woods, Spanish by birth, with only one goal to him this season for Wrexham, has cleared it away. It's another corner. It'll be taken again by Ben Osborne. And here he stands steady. Lennon and Kelworth might have their work cut out. Certainly at the moment, Egan and Basham are seeing a lot of the ball. Corner is low. It's looking for Burge. Oh, it was well cut out at the near post. And a foul was called. It was a good little bit of training ground routine. But in the end, our referee says, no, there was an infringement in that build-up. And Rob Layton will take the goal kick.
Definitely looked like something out the training ground, that one, but unfortunately they completely duffed it up by doing a foul off the ball. So I think Wrexham will be wise to the next opportunity, although there was a defender out there to challenge him, which is why the shot didn't go on target. So even though they caught them off guard, it still didn't prevent Wrexham getting something on it.
Here's Jacob Mendy for Wrexham. Clever little pass. He's found Dolby. Now it has gone out wide at the moment to Cannon. Sam Dalby looking to put it in first time. Back to Cannon. Mendy with space on the edge of the area. Does he think about the shot? He can't because he's got Sander Burge right in front of him. Pressure being applied at the moment by Wrexham on Sheffield United. Here's Andy Cannon again, looking for the crossing opportunity. Mendy does cross. In the end, it's going to be cleared away by Ismail Koulibaly. And it's back to Tozer that got to win that and does. But I'm not quite sure that in the end, the header needed to be taken away. Just as panicky as it happened. There is Phil Parkinson for those that are watching today. Some say it's one of the most impossible jobs in football to get Wrexham out of the National League. But he's on the verge of it. 2 games in hand and 3 points behind Notts County. Could well be. Of course, the mighty Aldershot to come at some point for Wrexham and Notts County. So they may struggle with points there, I hope. Here's the little pass back again. And here is a man that's seen a lot of it today, John Egan, but not able to crack it. Here's Robinson. That's a low ball looking for Billy Sharp. Was his shirt held there? It doesn't matter because Sharp's got it away. Header Kelworth, first time ball in. It's got to be cleared first time. And Dye dives in. In the end, the number 30 gets it away, James Jones. Now it is Koulibaly for Sheffield United. Now it is Adam Hosevich. John Egan. Burge. Adam Hosevich has continued and is just lurking around the area at the moment. Koulibaly. Robinson. Osborne. Sheffield United finding their groove a little bit at the moment. Maybe so is the match commentator. Van Dijk. Robinson. Burge. Pressure again from Sheffield United as they continue to have the ball. Wrexham with everyone back at the moment. Could it be a long-range shimmer and strike? No, it looks like it was just a slip at the last second, as you said, by Adam Hosevich. Now it's Mullen. Run for the middle. Can Mullen see it? He's looking to try once again to take on John Egan and get past him again with that lovely little jink that he does. but it's not to be. 2 minutes to go till half-time, and we'll hear from Nicholas and Russ at the half-time whistle for this one.
It was
Here's
superb
Jacob
defending from Egan. It's got to be said. He stopped any pass opportunities to get forward. But here's Mendy.
Mendy, that's a good-looking cross. It had to be cut out first time, and it was by Basham. This is Burge. And Burge's clearance here has been cleared miles into the air because it was blocked first time. Wrexham will have a throw in right on the halfway line. And Wrexham are slowly starting to grow into the game, Chris.
And the longer this goes on, the more Wrexham fancy their chances. And they've somewhat weathered a storm this first half, especially with that opportunity, which should have been 1-0 to Sheffield United. And that's going to be the thing that plays in everyone's mind. Should have been a goal there. It's whether Sheffield United can just get past that, because they'll be feeling a little hard done by not being in the lead here. And frustrations will be starting to mount, which will be something that the manager will have to address at half-time. Just be like, just reset. Second half is a different story. But, of course, still a little bit of time left in this first half. Got a minute of normal time, and whatever the ref decides to add on afterwards. It's a goal before half-time now could be a real momentum swinger.
Well, here's McAtee to bring it away. Left-footed. He's being chased down at the moment by Cannon. It's played back to Burge. He thought about the shot first time. Does hit it. It strikes Tozer, and Sheffield United will have a corner. And I'm hearing in my ear that could be about a minute or so of time added on. Won't be levels of what we saw in the FIFA Men's World Cup, where they are adding on 15 to 20 minutes. But FIFA have decided not to do that, which is good for them and the game. And this is Burge's effort. And it wasn't in the end Tozer that made the block. It was his partner in crime, Harry Lennon, that made it. Sander Burge getting set. The Norwegian. Here's Osborne's corner. It'll swing in. It's gone to the near post. Billy Sharp got there. Tried to flick it in at a tight angle. I believe a touch has been made. Referee today has also decided that is going to be another corner. So Billy Sharp with the armband. Another opportunity being marshalled. Osborne waiting for the ball.
It's not coming back, is it? It's Wrexham fans just keeping it. There we go. They've got the ball back now. There's two on the pitch now.
There we go. Too many balls, but we've only got one cannon, hey. Volleyed and thundered is what we're looking for. And Dye standing there right on the edge of the area. Osborne ready. A minute of time added on as predicted. We played 30 seconds of it. Final chance. The flick on. It's a good clearance, it has to be said, by Harry Lennon. He's got it a long way up. And look at Mullen at the moment. Completely caught out at the moment by Ndai. Now can Wrexham break away? They're claiming handball at the moment. James Jones is screaming at the official that Mullen was fouled. And there was a foul taken away. And I think the first yellow card is going to be issued. And quite rightly so at the moment. But the argument could be made here at the moment in terms of Ismail Koulibaly. Is he last man?
Yeah, that's the question that's being asked. Was he the last man? Because obviously the man who was wrestling Mullen to the ground beforehand. There you go. So he's basically giving him a bear hug there. And then you've got Shirt pulling there too. So I think this may be he's pulled it back for the initial foul, which might be why. So they were trying to play advantage, I think, is what's happened there, because he's the one that's been booked. The person who overlapped then got fouled, but he wasn't booked because that would have definitely been a booking.
Yeah, James McAtee overlapping. Final chance. Long ball floated in at the moment, looking for the little flick on. The clearance is made by Osborne, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Half time in this FA Cup fourth round replay. Well, I'll tell you what, the goals were certainly in the first game. The drama's going to be here in the replay. I'm certain of it. It's 0-0 at the break. It has been a fascinating contest. Sheffield United, don't say you haven't had your chances. They just haven't taken them. It's goalless at the break. Over to you, chaps.
Thank you, Trevor. So a really tight first half. But even though there are flashes of attack and things like that, I'd have to say it was a bit of a dull affair. Wouldn't you agree, Russ?
I would, Nicholas. Yes, it has been a pretty dull affair. Both teams have had the chances, Nicholas, but no one's really. There's been one real big opportunity for both sides, in which has been the McAtee chance for Sheffield United, where he went through and put it wide when it was virtually 2-on-1 in favour of the home side. And then when you look at it from the Wrexham standpoint, Nick, you've got to be looking at the best chance was that Mullen one, which was deflected well, and then they couldn't capitalise from that corner, which is where the Sheffield United one came about. So I think it's going to be a really tough game so far. And I think when I look at it as well, Nicholas, like you mentioned, being really scrappy, no real good chances for either side. I think it's going to be a tough afternoon tough evening for both sides. I think we might have extra time. I think we could see extra time of penalty, but my 4-4 prediction may be wrong.
Okay, well, in terms of the other games who we've been hearing about from Trevor and Chris, out of the other matches, out of the other replays, who do you see going into the next round?
Well, if I just look at the scores here, Nicholas, as well, because I'm going to get the scores up and let people know what the scores are at half time in those other matches in the FA Cup. So half time in the FA Cup is Burnley 1, Ipswich 1, and I think we may see Burnley go through. But I know Chris is here, and I'm hoping this is not the case, and sorry for this, Chris, as well, if you can hear me, and JB, if you're listening as well. I'm hoping Ipswich get through, just to see the reaction of our friend JB. It's Fleetwood 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. I'm hoping Fleetwood get through. Obviously, I'm a Leeds fan, for those who don't know, and Sheffield Wednesday are our bitter rivals. They us, we are them, so I'm hoping Fleetwood get through there. It's now Grimsby 3, Luton Town 0 in the game there, and I think Grimsby looks like they're going to get through, and then it's Sheffield United 0, Wrexham 0. I think it could go to penalties, and I can't call either way. There's a game on in the Championship tonight as well for our listeners, just to let people know there. It's Blackpool 0, Huddersfield Town 1. They're into the 51st minute there, and also in the other game in League One is Port Vale 0, Accrington 0. In Sky Bet League 2, it's Crew 0, Leighton Orient 1 to the second half there, and Doncaster 0, Tranmere 0 at half time. And there's some games in the National League just to tell people about. It's Chesterfield 0, Woking 3, Nicholas. Halifax 1, Barney 1 coming up towards half time in that one. It's Maidenhead United 1, Southend United 1, Oldham 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 1, and York City 1, Solihull Moors 0. And at half time in Serie A, Salernitana 0. Juventus, who had those points deduction a few weeks ago, they're leading by 2 goals on the way to Salernitana in Italian Serie A. I'll bring you the results of all those matches at the end of the conclusion of this game this evening.
Thank you very much, Russ. And speaking of Leeds United, who you mentioned earlier, whilst we've got nothing else to talk about right now, they sacked their manager Jesse March yesterday.
Yes, and I've been looking at some of the latest odds for the next managerial appointment at Leeds United, and I don't really know much about this guy. So if anyone out there is listening, whether you're listening on Trevor Sports, where you can see Trevor and Chris in vision there, or listening on the commentary up to JB Sports Storm FM, or on Twitch as well, if you can let me know about this guy. I'm not really sure much about him, but out of nowhere, Feyenoord boss Onslaught has come in a 5-4 favourite for the next Leeds United manager's job. I'm hoping we get Carlos Corberan. He's now a 5-2, and in the last few minutes, I'm hearing that he's just signed a new contract at West Brom, regardless of interest from Leeds. This is from John Percy, by the way. He says this is very much deserved, and he's been an outstanding appointment for them. I'm hoping that Leeds, even though he's just signed that new contract there, has got that can trigger his release clause and get him in at Ellenborough, because that's the guy who I want. I'm not really sure about Onslaught because don't really know much about him, or Andoni Iraola, who's currently 9-4. The odds for Onslaught has just changed since we last just mentioned about that, Nicholas, and is now 8-11 on, which means you need to put £11 on to win 8 if no one knows what those odds mean, but that is the situation there. So that's who but for me, I would rather have Carlos Cobb, and he's currently 5-2, and we'd be interested to see who Leeds get. Hopefully, we're not going to be waiting too long for that announcement. Andrea Radrizzoni, the club owner, said earlier today that, and I'll just read the tweet out that he said earlier today, which is come out and said earlier today, he was asked when the new manager would potentially be appointed at Ellen Road, and he said, "We are on it. Hopefully, why smoke?" And normally with why smoke means appointment by tonight or tomorrow morning. So hopefully, by the time before we come off air, hopefully tonight when we come off air, we may end up seeing the appointment of the new Leeds United manager. And if we do get it during this game, I will let people know that there.
Thank you very much, Ross. But back to the here and now. What I can say about Paul Mullin is that he has scored at every round that Wrexham have played at from the fourth qualifying round onwards. When they first in their first game when they faced Blythe Spartans, they have subsequently gone through the likes of Farnborough, I believe, and also Oldham Athletic and Coventry City before meeting Sheffield United, as we know. We would have liked to expected more of Paul Mullin throughout the first half for Wrexham, but I have a feeling he could well be the standout man for Wrexham in the second half.
Yes, he's not really done much in the first half. Their real chances come from him, but you never know with Paul Mullin. You know they can just turn it on when everyone's least expecting it. He's done all that this season in the league as well. But who knows what's going to happen there? But we'll have to wait and see. Just getting back to the Leeds United managerial situation briefly, Nicholas. Fabrizio Romano, the well-respected journalist out there, says Carlos Corberan will not become a Leeds United manager. Decision has been made. He will stay with West Bromwich Albion with a new contract. New deal valid until June 2027. Corberan has accepted to stay at West Bromwich Albion. So that's just a bit of news there regarding that situation. But I think, going back to the game and the question you asked, I think Paul Mullin will get into this game and potentially score. He scored in the last round. I think in the last game against him. I think he'll score again tonight. Could he be the winner? Who knows?
Well, if Wrexham keep piling on the pressure, it could well be, although we also saw an opportunity from Ben Tozer. But as for Sheffield United, the players that stood out for me were McAtee and Sharp. And also Indai. So we'll be expecting to see more of them. I personally am hoping that it does not go to extra time and beyond. But as Trevor says in football, you never know. So with kick-off in the second half, just about a few minutes away, let's hand over back to Chris Whiteman and Trevor Sports.
Well, I'm here. I don't know if the other one is, but I've gone and got myself a drink and ready to go. Here we go. I can't believe, one, that Trevor's late, and two, Grimsby are 3-0 up. I went to go get a drink and it was 2-0, came back and it was 3. What is going on over there?
Stranger things have happened in the FA Cup. It seems that we've got a big upset ahead of us. Are we going to see a big upset in the second half, though, Chris?
Well, it would be good fun if there was, but the Sheffield United fans will be going, well, we want to go through just as much as they do. And everyone quite rightly are looking at the opportunity to get through to the next round of the FA Cup. Everyone loves a good FA Cup run. But this first half was definitely a cagey affair. Certainly a lot of feeling out being done. And, you know, we had a major chance, which, you know, in the gravelly voice of Sean Dyche, you know, it's the fine margins, you know. So it's things like that. That's what make the difference. If Sheffield United had gone in 1-0 up it could have had a completely different complexion. But at the minute, it is still anyone's game. And both managers were getting into him at half-time going, look, you've got 45 minutes. If you just get a goal, you're early doors, or hang on and get it late, you'll knock the stuffing out of them, and this game will be done and dusted. So who lands the first blow in the second half will be, well, it'll be massively important because it puts you in control of the fixture.
Does indeed. In terms of both sides, there are lots of chances for Sheffield United, no doubt about that. In terms of how they played the game, I think it's fair to say they completely dominated it. Possession, well, they had 71%, 17 shots on goal, but only 4 on target. Could that be the root of Sheffield United's problems this season?
Well, it could be. It's an alarmingly similar stat to the best comparison that I can put from something that I've witnessed is when Burnley played Liverpool in the Premier League a few seasons ago, and they had about the similar amount of possession, about 20-odd%, scored 2 goals from 2 shots, won the match. As much as you can have the ball all you like, if you don't put the ball on the back of the net, you don't win. And I think that's the alarming thing here. And 17 shots from Sheffield United, only 4 on target. So they've got to be a lot more clinical this second half. So whereas Wrexham have had 2 and hit the target once. So they're certainly getting a better grasp when they do get a chance of hitting the target. And if you don't hit the target, of course, you don't score. So it's all swings and roundabouts when it comes to statistics, but both teams will be looking to improve on their shots and shots on target in the second half.
Yeah, it's going to become a very, very interesting second half to come. We're also going to keep you updated with all the other goals. I'll recap them for you just so you know, but as my co-commentator does keep one eye on this. Ipswich and Burnley currently are 1-0 at half-time. Fleetwood and Sheffield Wednesday are also 0-0 at half-time. Grimsby are, as Chris said, 3-0 up to Luton at the break. So what a performance has taken place from Grimsby. And for us here, Sheffield United and Wrexham is currently 0-0. But don't worry, it's not like the game sprung into life until the second half at the racecourse. And wonder if something that could be something similar that takes place today. We're just waiting for our pitchers to return. Seems to be a problem. Somebody's accidentally pressed on the wrong button, I would suspect. But there we go. We're all set to go. If you were Phil Parkinson, Wrexham's manager, you've got the likes of Ollie Palmer, who scored 14 goals this season, and Thomas O'Connor, the Irishman, that scored 6. At what point do you start to make changes towards the second half?
You probably give it. I mean, it depends on how Sheffield United come flying out of the gates. If Sheffield United look to sit off a bit and slow the tempo, I think that would be when you throw on some names to cause some problems for their defence. If an early goal, say for Sheffield United goes in, then at that point you'd be going, right, attackers off the bench on the pitch. So it's very much a case of we'll see how the first 5-10 minutes goes. And I'm sure he has a plan for all situations in the second half. So he's a well-travelled manager as Phil Parkinson, and I'm sure he's the right man for the job at Wrexham. He's doing the sterling job, so he'll know what he'll do when how things play out. So we'll just have to see when he decides. Right, we need a goal. So
well ultimately,
he's got 2 accomplished strikers to bring on. So yeah,
yes,
plenty
indeed.
of opportunity there.
Well, ultimately, Wrexham's Premiership charge towards the Football League was ended on the basis that they ended up playing in the FA Trophy final, losing that day to Boreham Wood, I believe, was that beat them 1-0. Wrexham had a goal disallowed in the final couple of minutes. Nobody told Rob McElhaney, Ryan Reynolds, and on that day, Will Ferrell, that was the case. But as a result of playing all those games so quickly back to back, when it came to the playoffs, they were beaten in a thrilling game, 5-4, and was an outstanding match. But we now wait to get going for the start of the second half. All the players have run out and getting themselves set. So Wrexham are going to kick us off. They will be going from right to left, and the final half of this tie is going to get going. A reminder here that if we are level at full time, 30 minutes of extra time and a penalty competition potentially await us in this contest. So Paul Mullen gets us underway. It's Wrexham 0, Sheffield United 0. This is live alternative commentary here of the FA Cup 4th round replay. You're listening to us on Trevor Sports in association with the Commentary Hub. If you haven't done so, please make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification button to make sure that you're with us throughout the course of today. And we will be with us uninterrupted as straight away Wrexham have a chance over on the far side, and Tozer is getting set to go launch one of his long throws, and seeing him warm up, it's always fantastic as referee Lee Donaghy just starts to set the bit of order up. And the Welshman Adam Davis in Sheffield United's goal will just have to be wary. But Tozer here swinging the arms of Everton like he's about to launch a shot put halfway across the Crystal Palace grounds and to go ahead and get a goal. Long ball floated in. It's cleared away. The final deflection was off a Sheffield United player. That Sheffield United player, of course, was John Egan, and it is out for a corner. And the corner itself, to note, is being taken right in front of the Wrexham fans. And it will be Luke Young, the skipper, to take. Over on the far side, right-footed. Tozer's come forward. Lennon has come forward for Wrexham. Will they take any opportunities from their set pieces? Coming short was Cannon. It was floated in. Looking there for the run, it has to be said, of Dolby, but it's been headed away. It was a good, strong header in the end by Egan, who did well to head it away. Man that broke Wrexham's heart at the race ground. That's why we're here today. But Tozer again is back out over on the far side to throw it in. Here we go. Are you standing ready? Welcome to Sheffield. All those travelling from Wrexham. Tozer with a long ball in, looking for the flick on. The first header comes and arrives, and it's Basham that's got it away. Back to Tozer to cross it in first time. Flick on trying to be made at the moment by Cannon. Leaping up in the air. It's a long clearance by Basham. He's just floated it, looking for Ilman Ndai. And in the end, that can be read coolly and calmly by Andy Ford. But Ndai stolen it off him. A run potentially ahead of him. Inside was looking for the run by Cooley Barley. This is Cannon, number 20. Number 32 is Cleworth, Welshman. Now it is Luke Young. Possession, Jacob Mendy. Wrexham didn't have a lot of possession in that half. Definitely need to see more of it, but straight away you can see that there is a certain press from Sheffield United looking to push forward whenever they can. Long floated ball by Harry Lennon. Looking into the channels. Not often you see players play a pass like that into the channels, but Mullins got there, gone one-on-one with Adam Hosevic, and has won a throw-in. And Mendy's left it for Tozer again. So you can straight away see here, Chris, the long plan. Tozer's long throws definitely can cause problems.
Yeah, he can get a long run-up from the side as well, where he's standing. So this could be going right into the 6-yard box. It reminds us of the Rory Delap Stoke days, these kind of throws.
Can Wrexham fans do it on a cold February night in Sheffield? Tozer's long ball floated right into the area. It had to be headed away first time, and it was. And it was Billy Sharp that won the second ball, but Tozer's picked it back up for Wrexham. He's got Mendy ahead of him. Cool come pass to Andy Ford. Now it's all the way back coolly and calmly to Harry Lennon. And now the little pass into the captain, Luke Young, and it goes all the way back to Rob Layton, who made some outstanding saves, I thought, in that first half. Flick on looking to arrive, and the flick on has arrived. There was a chance, a second there for Mullen to break through just for a second if Ford had seen him. In the end, Burge is able to clear the ball away. Here is Young. And now Cleworth. Number 30 is James Jones. Wrexham continuing to have the ball. Cleworth, is he onside? The ball comes in. It's cleared away. First time at the moment by Adam Hosevic. Now it's McAtee, who's had the best chance of the match. No doubt about it. Clever little ball down the channel for Billy Sharp to run up against Luke Young. Options to his left. The left is McAtee again that picks the ball in. Now it's a chance for Sharp, left-footed, crossing it towards the far post, looking for the header of Basham. Mendy did well for Wrexham to win possession back. It's Basham again, number 6 for Sheffield United. Little reverse pass. Back in the ends to Osborne. And there is the opening goal. It has arrived for Sheffield United. A good bit of football played in the area. But in the end, the finish has come. It's Adam Hosevic that has struck. It's the perfect early start for Sheffield United to take the lead. It's 1-0. And Chris, to be fair, it's been coming.
Well, it'd been coming if you based it on the first half. That goal has come against the run of play in the second half. Wrexham dominating the ball to get us rolling and really piling the pressure on. And Sheffield United, with their first real shot of the second half, have got themselves a goal. It's a lovely ball through and a wonderful run. And, well, it's a fantastic finish. First time hit, just looks up, fires at the goalkeeper's near post, and it's hit at such a pace the goalkeeper can't get down quick enough. It's a great finish. And it's a deserved lead, let's be honest, based on the first half. Against the runner play in the second, sure, but Leighton can't do much about that one.
A lovely little pass by Ben Osdermond to play him Adam Hosevic, the Bosnia-Herzegovinian international there with the finish. And when he hit that at some pace. And you're right, I think Rob Leighton made himself large but wasn't able to get near that. We've got a goal. The goal has arrived for the home side. It is Sheffield United 1, Wrexham 0. Wrexham now have just about 39 minutes to try and to get back in this.
I could hear Ali McCoy's going absolutely potty when Wrexham had that chance to square it to Mullin when he was basically making a fantastic run. That different decision that they've made has then meant that the ball's gone down the other end and Sheffield United have scored. So another case of fine margins.
It is indeed, and sometimes that's the case. It's the decision-making that makes a difference. J.E. Diz goes, wow, 1-0 on the Trevor Sports chat. Great to see in terms of what's taking place. It's all quiet at the moment, but we've got a goal at long last, so we will not have a 0-0. We've done all the 0-0s that we need to do, I think, on this channel for this season. We shall wait and see. Long ball looking for... the ball's looking in the end for Dolby. It's cleared away. There is Koulibaly. Cleworth for Wrexham. Wrexham now have to bring the game to Sheffield United, but they have scored 3 goals against them before at the racecourse. They know how to do it. Mendy into space, but he's using the pressure there to get himself past Basham. Hope Wrexham can recover and Mullin to score, says JD. Wrexham fans will definitely hope that if anyone can get a goal for them, it has been Paul Mullin, 27 this season, what he would give to a 28th and an equaliser. But plenty of time to go in this game. There's the header away from John Egan. It's a quick throw which is taken to Paul Mullin. Here is Wrexham's main player. Looks for the 1-2 at the moment from Sam Dolby. It's cut out. You wonder at this point with Phil Parkinson will bring on the likes of Ollie Palmer and so forth. But as Wrexham commit themselves forward, as Sander Berge plays the ball into space, there's always going to be the potential danger in that respect that there are more chances that open up for the home side. But it's the FA Cup. You've got to go for it, haven't you, Chris?
You have, and I think by the book, that probably wasn't the start of the second half that Sheffield United had in mind. But an early goal, it counts, and it's suddenly the tone of the game has completely shifted.
Lovely. This is Basham looking for an overlap. He's got it right on the edge of the area up against Mendy. He's played all the way back to Burge in the end. Now this is Ismail Koulibaly. McAtee. Koulibaly's played it back in again. And third time he's got it. McAtee lets it run. Basham. A little bit of swagger. Adam Hosevic's ball swinging into the far post. Diving across was Ilman Ndiaye and Billy Sharp, but get nowhere near it. Already at the moment, Sheffield United look a completely different side. They've got their goal. They've got their confidence. And it's a spring in the step of those in red and white stripes.
Yeah, the goal's definitely given them that pep in their step, as you'll put it, and they'll be wanting to kill the game off now because Wrexham, they've had a positive start to the second half despite the fact that they've conceded the goal, and they'll be thinking, you know what, we're still in this. All we need is a chance. They've just got to create it.
Well, the hardest thing in football is scoring those chances that you have. One wonders if that will be the key factor in those of this game. Here at the moment is Ndiaye. He's continuing to run into space. He's well marshalled at the moment by Harry Lennon. Now it's Basham that's seeing a lot more of the ball since the goal. And it was a running down this side that made all the difference. This is McAtee. We'll pass to Burge. And Sheffield United comfortable on the ball now. Ilman Ndiaye. McAtee. Basham. Comfortable. Ball over on the near side. McAtee looking to whip it in. It's been left all the way for Rob Leighton and it's been cleared away. And that's certainly it. And Sheffield United will know they'll want the game perhaps overdone because Swansea City come to the Bramall Lane on Saturday. That big game which is taking place. And Wrexham, well, they'll be hosting Wealdstone. So both these sides have got big league games to play as a result of this. But I think Wrexham certainly know now if they are going to get through, they've got to do it the hard way. A reminder that Adam Hosevic's goal on the 50th minute is the difference. That's why it's Sheffield United 1, Wrexham 0. You're listening to live alternative coverage here of the FA Cup 4th round replay here on Trevor Sports in association with the Commentary Hub. And we'll be with you what now looks like going to be just another sort of half an hour or so. But then again, anything can happen. This is an early ball by Ford. Ford's left-footed ball across. Lovely, I have to say, all the way to Cannon. That's under pressure straight away from Basham of Sheffield United into Cleworth. The Welshman looking to try and play it through into the gap. There's Ismail Koulibaly winning it. Sander Berge now to bring it away for Sheffield United and bursting away for Sheffield United. There's a lovely little pass at the moment to McAtee, who's got there. Laid it back for Sharp. Good save, Rob Layton. Fantastic save, Layton. Really good goalkeeping. Sharp had the chance. Great goalkeeping there. Rob Layton signed to get Wrexham promoted, but he's keeping them in the game.
Has to score there, Billy Sharp. He has to score. That's a golden opportunity to kill off the game, and he's missed it.
Well,
I say he's missed it. The goalkeeper saved it. It's a great save by Layton. I discredit him.
Well, is this going to be something which turns the game around? This is Jacob Mindy into Mullin, back to goal. Now it is Andy Cannon. Oh, Mullin making a run. Was he pulled down? That's the referee decision here. He's pointed to the spot. It's a penalty. Wrexham have a penalty and have an opportunity to get back in the game. Mullin's shirt was pulled. Absolutely no doubt about it. There can be no complaints from those that are in red and white stripes. Despite the goal scorer, Anil Adam Hosevic, that has scored the goal, he's conceded the penalty here.
I mean, in terms of the definition of stonewall penalty, although the contact starts outside the box, this is going to be the argument here.
Well, he has caught his shirt, hasn't he? What does the referee?
Where do you draw the line? Where does the foul get given? Where it starts or where it ends? Because that's always the grey area of referees. He's pointed to the spot. Sheffield United will say it started outside the box, therefore it should be a free kick. Let's have a look. So he's grabbing him. He's got 1 foot planted outside the box. So.
Well, the question is here, is this a VAR check that's taking place? Mullin is standing ready. He's got the ball in hand. Well, what a story, what a moment this would be if Wrexham were to get level. Adam Davis standing in charge. The Welshman at the gatekeeper here for Sheffield United. Paul Mullin, goal-scoring extraordinaire, standing ready. Wrexham fans can barely watch. They've been given a lifeline. Can they take it? Referee Lee Doughty's moving everybody onto the edge of the area. It's been a long wait for Paul Mullin. What can he do? Takes a few steps back, right on the edge of the area. Deep breath. Stares Adam Davis right down the middle. It's Mullin. It's 1-1. It's fantastic. The FA Cup continues to deliver. Paul Mullin is there to finish. Wrexham have drawn themselves level. There might be some slight controversy in terms of how the penalty was awarded, but there was no controversy in the way it was finished. It's hoped Wrexham could get back level through Paul Mullin. There's flares on the pitch. It's absolute chaos. Wrexham have drawn level on the 59th minute, and it's Paul Mullin who's taken what I consider a bit of a Sean Dyche spot kick. Smashed down the middle. It's 1-1.
So if you're never really sure, smash it down the middle, because you've got to be a brave goalkeeper to stand in the middle of the goal and not move. And he has done I mean, it's basic, but it works. He has emphatically smashed it full pelt down the middle into the roof of the net. 1-1 and absolute bedlam behind the goal, because of course that's where all the Wrexham fans are, and there have been flares and everything going off. It's quite the mood going into the hour mark.
Well, on the bench there, we saw Bryce Hosanna and Ollie Palmer getting set to make in, and that is the Liam McKinnon, I believe, is also looks set to come on. So we shall wait for the changes as the officials here have to get rid of the flares, make confirmation of the changes. I have a feeling that Liam McKilden has joined us, and I have a feeling that Ollie Palmer is also on. We'll get confirmation of those changes. I can see Palmer on, big striker, certainly recognised here. And we'll wait confirmation to see if Liam McKilden has joined us, the Irishman. But the Wrexham fans absolutely delighted with that, Chris. That was a big moment in the game.
It was massive because the pendulum was just starting to swing back in Sheffield United's favour in the second half, and Wrexham have gone and grabbed it straight back. So, in terms of an opening 10 minutes, or 15 minutes of the first half, second half will go, should I say? It's been superb. Where was this in the first half?
Well, the game which we thought hadn't delivered certainly has at the start of the second half.
Is it 4-4 in aggregate? Are we counting that?
Is it 4-4 in aggregate? Well, I guess we can. I would love to see it in 90 minutes. I'll take it at the moment, seeing it in 90 and 60 at the moment. But anyway, let's get going, folks. We've got the second half to go. We'll get confirmation of the changes that has been made by Wrexham in a moment. The ball's gone out. Referee Lee Doherty. So it's Sam Dolby and Jacob Mendy that have departed. So Sam Doherty and Jacob Mendy that have parted. And it is Liam McKindren and Ollie Palmer that's come on. So between them now, in terms of where Wrexham stand at the moment, there is, well, it's incredible to think as well. They've got 42 goals between their striking partnership this season now between Ollie Palmer and Paul Mullin. So there is a strike force that knows the back of the net. Do Wrexham scent blood? Do they sense that they could potentially have Tottenham Hotspur playing them at the racecourse ground in the 5th round? Mullin
There's
running
another goal elsewhere. Sheffield United's other half of the city in Sheffield Wednesday have just gone 1-0 down against Fleetwood. So the underdogs really showing their claws today.
Goodness gracious, it's not a great day for those supporters of Sheffield. And for those all based in the Yorkshire area, of course, with Jesse March leaving Leeds United. Palmer looking to play a 1-2 again. Referee this time. It looks to be as if Mullins was caught. And that's a bit of aggravation, which is made in as a result of that. And Lee Doughty, the referee, has waved everyone away. He didn't give the spot kick on this time. Is this a shout for a kick?
This one is starting outside the area again. It's off the ball because he was trying to get to the ball, but I don't think he was going to get to it because there were 3 Sheffield United players in between. I think it'd be harsh to give that, but I've seen those kind of foul given. So, yeah, it's contentious. I'm sure it'll be a talking point later on in the match should the score change.
Well, there is straight jumps. It was a lovely little exchange of passing between Andy Ford and Mullin and Palmer. And it just goes to show those saves that Rob Layton has made, how important they are, and just shows you how dangerous the 1-0 scoreline is. As Mullin looks to go and get ahead of O'Regan and flicks the ball back. Palmer again putting pressure on Basham at the moment. Adam Davis to clear the ball. Clears it over the halfway line into the Wrexham half, but there's no Sheffield United player there. It goes back to his opposite number, Rob Layton, who has a fantastic game. And if you look at this, potentially is in a shout for the player of the match, this sort of performance. Just the saves he's made today has been quite excellent here, Chris.
Yeah, Layton has been superb. And that save at 1-0 down, you know, it's made a massive difference, obviously, because if Billy Sharp scores that goal, it's 2-0 and the complexion is completely different. You may not have had the momentum going into the penalty box and get that penalty. So, complete game changer, that save.
Well, games change on a whisk in a moment, and a Paul Mullin penalty in the 59th minute was the difference. Here's Sander Berge for Sheffield United trying to change that. His cross, though, was right against Uman Ndai that's lost it. Now it's Ollie Palmer. He's a big man, and he can play a ball. That's a lovely ball, which has gone out wide at the moment. Is it Kilworth going to get there? Oh, it's a real collision between those two. It really is. James Jones diving in at the moment. That's proper full-blooded, committed FA Cup football between him and Jack Robinson.
To tell you what, they both went for it and both of them got straight back up afterwards. This is very much a nobody yielding situation now. So I love it. This is good old-fashioned blood and thunder FA Cup stuff.
And Ben Tozer to take a long throw with big Ollie Palmer in the area. We know what if you haven't seen him before, he's a big man, an old-fashioned target man that can cause havoc in the box. You can bet your bottom dollar that's exactly what Tozer will aim for. As the throw comes in, looks for Palmer, gets a flick on, bounced in the area. Huge appeals at the moment for given there for Well, I think that's for the corner. I thought it was for the handball for a second, and it's cleared away. Enoch has joined us. He's watching this on ITV4. Enoch, welcome to it. I hope you're enjoying it. I know we've got Matterface and McCoyce on there, but if you do fancy the dulcet tones of what's once been heard as the Badil and Skinner of football commentary, then please go ahead and stick us on and stick ITV4 on mute. Corner to happen at the moment. It's the captain, Luke Young, to take it for Wrexham. Just floating on the air is Andy Cannon, but they're going to go big. The header eventually arrives in the end from Mullen. It's come back to Palmer. He can't get it under control, but he's got the strength. He's laid it back. The strike, it takes a little deflection in the end from James Jones. And it'll come back to Andy Cannon, who does really well to keep it out. Wrexham at the moment are really starting to play some quality football here. And Tozer's getting ready for another long throw.
I don't know what Phil Parkinson said at half-time, but I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall. They have come flying out the traps in this second half. And you wouldn't think that Wrexham were the National League side at this point.
Well, welcome to Wrexham Season 2. Should have a spicy episode in this cup game. Long through by Tozer. Flick on, headed back into the area by Cannon. Young also gets it. It's cleared away first time. And now it's a chance for Ndai. And that's good defending, but Ndai here is just able to get the better at the moment of Ford. Now plays the pass out wide. Basham bursts forward here for Sheffield United. Now it's James McAtee. Sheffield United haven't really seen the ball since they scored. That was 5 minutes. McAtee's cross. Oh, the far post. Arriving was Billy Sharp. He's got his header in. It's flown over Leighton's goal. And I have to say, that's a big chance.
What a chance that was. I don't know whether Billy Sharp got the last touch. That's the thing. I think he did. He's questioning whether he was fouled because it looked like he may have been pulled down a little bit. Let's have a look. Well, their arms are certainly tangled, but yeah, he just got too low for it, got underneath the ball, and it ended up heading over.
Well, changes to be made here. The first one today of Paul Heckingbottom as well. Isman Koulibaly, who has been booked, is departing us as well. Oliver Norwood is coming on to replace him, the Northern Irishman. There's the first change of Paul Heckingbottom, Sheffield United, and a change which probably had to be made at the moment because other than that chance, and there'll always be the moments that are available, there's always the danger here that if you don't react, and we're looking at you, Gareth Southgate, sometimes teams can go ahead and take control of the game. And Paul Heckingbottom here looks to have made a change and looks to try and bring some fresh legs in the middle of the park. Palmer getting the flick on, looking for Mullen. How many times that's been said for Wrexham over the past 2 years. Lovely little dummy by Palmer, bursting into the area. We're not able to find the cross. Back at the moment to Andy Ford. And now the long ball will come in and it'll be cleared first time by Burge. And here's Ilman. And now here's McAtee. Cannon's got to get there and does get there quite brilliantly. Really important tackle as well. This is Liam McKildon bursting forward. Can he cross first time? It's cut out. Crossing in this game, particularly from the non-league side, does show you the level of difference. The fact a lot of their crosses haven't made first time. But that was good football by Ollie Palmer in the area. And Wrexham have got their tails up. And they've got Tozer again. It definitely gets his steps in, charging from centre half down to take these long throws.
This is it. A defence quickly turned into attack with a perfectly timed slide tackle. So it's just swinging back and forth this match.
Here's Tozer, long throw again, looking for Palmer in the area, diving across. Davis has just got there, had to punch it away. This is McKildren, puts it back into the area, and the goalkeeper loses it. Just the last second, it's cleared away, almost uninspiringly. Palmer hits one again. McKildren left-footed, another effort that's blocked. Cleared away by Burge. Really good game now that we've got it. Sheffield United can move on the counter-attack at the moment. It's Sharp. He's got options left to him. And in the end, he plays in Burge. Now this is Ndai. Ndai's got a chance on the overlap. He tries to go it alone here, Ndai. Squares it back for the long-range strike, and a poor long-range strike, it has to be said, by Oliver Nord that's come on, and that's a wasted moment. 20 minutes to go of a match. Goodness me, is this match bound for a penalty competition? But this has been quite brilliant, Chris.
It has. Oliver Norwood was just having that Steven Gerrard moment in his mind. He was just thinking, I can hit this one and be an absolute legend. And it's the most forgettable shot you're going to see all day. But which isn't particularly great from somebody who was about to go. He's from Burnley, that lad, and then goes and disappoints me immediately. But yeah, it's the game has massively opened up, and the momentum is swinging left and right. It's this second half. The next 20 minutes are going to be quite the thriller.
Well, you know what they say, curse of the commentator. Phil Parkinson marching along his technical area and looking get set to go. Max Kelworth here, the Welshman, the only other Welshman in the Wrexham squad. In the starting squad, of course, they got Jake Bickerstaff, Welshman ready for them on the bench. Young, good power. This is Liam McKilden, number 11, running again, the Northern Irishman, into space at the moment. Space which is picked up by Andy Cannon, who's looked really lively in this second half in particular. McKildren again. Mullin trying to make a run into the channel. Oh, he's done it! Has he gone down again? Referee's giving Wrexham another penalty! Goodness gracious, would you believe this? Mullin had burst forward into space. No doubt about that one. That's a spot kick. And Mullin, whoa, he'll stand ready to potentially take this spot kick again. McKildren, this is a great ball. He's onside. And the foul, there's absolutely no doubt about it, is there?
A horrendous challenge. That is I retract my previous statement about Stonewall penalties. That is about as Stonewall as you can get it. And it's Oliver Norwood, of all people. I think it's Norwood. I'm not 100% certain, but I think it is. Norwood, unbelievable. Curse of the commentator strikes. Yep, from Burnley, that lad, immediately letting people down. It's just a disaster. Forget I said anything. But now, here's the mind games. He's already taken a penalty 5 minutes ago, and he thundered it down the middle. Does the goalkeeper go on, do it again? I dare you. This is fascinating.
Well, we've seen what it's like when in a major game when a player has 2 penalties, and sometimes mind games gets the better. Mullins takes his step back. He went down the middle on the first one. An opportunity to put Wrexham in the league. FA Cup folklore at stake. Oh, it's a fantastic save by Davis. Really, really good stop. Mullin really hit that. Now Sheffield United straight away can come on the break. It's McAtee. A transfer in the middle looking for Ilman. He's collided with Tozer at the moment. Leighton's picked the ball out. The referee is unmoved. Tozer says that's no foul. Mullin's efforts, well, it was all waiting up for him. Another big game, another big penalty. But in the end, his penalty wasn't that good on the second attempt. And it's a good save by Adam Davis.
If he'd have done the same again, he would have scored again. So he tried to twist. You just stick with what you know. He's gone to try and put it to the goalkeeper's right. It's a lovely height for a goalkeeper to save. And generally, a right-footed person will go to your right as the goalkeeper. And he's done the by-the-book thing, and the goalkeeper's bought it, and he's made a good save. But tell you what, it hasn't done much to the atmosphere. Both sets of fans on their feet at the minute. It's incredible.
Well, Adam Davis, not had much to do, was well beaten for the spot kick, but responds here. Tale of 2 goalkeepers, especially that of Rob Leighton, that's but a fantastic performance. And another Wrexham players departing the pitch at the moment in the 73 minutes. Harry Lennon is off. That's his game finished today. He's certainly run himself as much as he can into the end. On comes number 22, Tom O'Connor. So the third change for Phil Parkinson has been made. It's Sheffield United 1, Wrexham 1. FA Cup 4th round replay. We're in the 74th minute. You're listening to alternative coverage here. I'm watching alternative coverage on Trevor Sports, and you're listening to us on the Commentary Hub, which you can hear us on JB Sports Commentary Hub 1 and 2. We'll have the views of Nicholas and Russ at full time with this one on their thoughts. But a game which they thought didn't have much in the first half has sprung to life in the second half. But to be fair, the game at the racecourse did absolutely the same. Palmer getting to half a yard, but the referee here is going to have a little word with Mullin. I think he's claiming there was a foul. Adam Hosevich, yes, was guilty of another foul. And these sometimes old-fashioned centre-forward tricks are working. Getting ahead of there between man and ball. That was good work by Mullin to draw that foul.
It was, yeah. He got himself in a position where he was always going to get there first and wins a free kick. But tell you what, the second half so far has flown by. We've only got 15 minutes left. Time's disappearing.
It absolutely has. It's been an absolute joy to watch this game at the moment. Really has had just about everything. A long-range free kick available, and I can see Luke Young standing over it.
Surely not from here.
Does he fancy?
Surely
I mean, there was a famous Mickey Thomas goal that once knocked out Arsenal. It was scored by Wrexham. the hard-working little professional. Could something similar be on the horizon? And you have to feel for Paul Mullin, a chance for make yourself into FA Cup folklore, but it wasn't to be. I think Thomas is going to play this short Percy, and he's stepping back again. Raises the right hand, looks to curl it into the box, looking for Palmer, headed away by Burge, first time. Now it's Norwood. Basham looking to play it down the channel at the moment. It's been well read by Thomas, who gets it headed out. There goes Andy Cannon under pressure. Norwood again, guilty of the foul. Burge brings it away for Sheffield United. Billy Sharp wanted it through the middle and didn't get it, and there's no foul given. Wrexham have an opportunity to move on the break. And I can just see, I think, Paul Mullin potentially holding his hip in the middle of the pitch. Hopefully, he may be able to run it off. And there goes a pass into the middle of nowhere by Thomas O'Connor. It'll be picked up by Adam Davis into his area. And Sheffield United will continue here to go. I think I can certainly see that Mullin is holding his hip. Obviously, that last collision that he took. But, you know, if you think about what he's been through today as an old-fashioned centre forward, you've got to get stuck in. In terms of how this cup fourth round replay is going for everybody else, Burnley and Ipswich are still drawing 1-1. Fleetwood leads Sheffield United by 1-0. Grimsby are 3-0 up at Luton. Of course, one more game to come tomorrow, but that won't be with us. Trevor Sports is taking Mrs. Trevor Sports out for some food because he has to. Those are the rules. Luke Young here is guilty of just diving in just slightly without full control on the foul there on Burge, and referee Lee Doughty was on top of it. I'd love to know your opinion on the referee so far, Chris, and how you think he's handled today.
He's handled it pretty well. I think the second half there's been a few wild challenges, and he's got to do a bit of work to get things a little bit calmer now. But yeah, he's had a good game so far. I think he's got all the decisions more or less spot on, especially with the two penalties that he gave. The first one may be dubious, but you've got to bear in mind where he was stood. It would have been very hard to tell at first glance without the assistance, as the goal scorer is now the goal scorer for Sheffield United has gone off, and on comes Max Lowe. And obviously the second decision was pretty stonewall. So yeah, he's got all the key decisions right. So he's had a good game.
Confirmation, Ano Adamhovic, who scored, would you believe, 5 minutes into the start of this half. There's a long ball floated in. Oh, fantastic save by Leighton. Oh, another brilliant stop by the Wrexham goalkeeper. It was a long ball floated into the area. The header was firm and true. Leighton has lipped all the way across to his right. And you feel it was a Bailey must-score moment. And Basham's under real pressure at the moment from Cannon and Mullin, but is able to coolly and calmly play it away. I tell you what, can we have Wrexham versus Sheffield United every week on the channel? This second half has been one of the best halves of football I think we've had. And Rob Leighton again has made another fantastic save.
Yeah, he's just been impervious to any kind of pressure from Sheffield United. He's just stood up to he couldn't do much about the goal that he conceded, but everything else he's had an answer to. And it's one of those nights where Sheffield United will be questioning, are we going to be able to score another one? Because he just seems unbeatable right now. Touch wood, don't curse him now.
Well, it's a chance for Ndai to run at the moment. He's up against the Max Kelworth at the moment. Pass back to O'Connor. Burge. Bit of space for Heat. Norwood, edge of the area. He's not done a lot. He tries to play a clever little pass through. Hasn't worked through. Ollie Palmer that cracked the bar in the first game. And Paul Mullin has gone down. And I think, I wonder if Paul Mullin will need some treatment here. It's ever since that collision that he had with John Egan and winning that last foul, he's been holding his hip, and since that, I wonder perhaps is his match over today? And if that was the case, this is the moment I think where we're noticing it. It's there. And he's been feeling that hip, I guess, or whatever, since that point. But if Mullin goes out, if Mullin is gone, does that also mean that Wrexham's chances have gone?
Well, no, they've still been creating chances. I mean, Mullin's obviously been the focal point, but somebody else will just have to step up, and this is where new heroes are made. And you've got two subs coming on, warming up now. I glanced for a second. I could have sworn that was you for a split second, Trevor. That was borderline looking. I don't know, but yeah, it was. There's a player that looks mildly like you warming up on the sidelines. I got very confused for a split second.
Yes, it's not David Beckham. Don't worry. Yeah,
but I mean, he's on his feet now, Mullin. He's just seeing if he can perhaps run it off. Looks like he's saying that he's fine, but I guess Phil will decide that. They've got they've got to keep in mind their league season. He might go, "Look, I know it's the FA Cup, but I need you fit for the league, so I can't risk it," which may be the discussion that's currently going on.
Well, Willstone to come for Wrexham, and I wonder potentially is Phil Parkinson made the decision, the fact that Mullen's game will be over. It's back with Leighton, and the ball is in play. Rob Leighton, that's another fine save. Want to see a replay of his effort. I think he's certainly in shout for player of the match. Palmer trying to get a flick on, but there's no Mullen ahead of him. It's gone back to Adam Davis in goal for Sheffield United. Apparently, I believe it's a hamstring problem, but Mullen has come back on. Certainly, if the hamstring goes and he can't move as he did, that's going to cause worry. But one of the days of a little bit of magic sponge may do the trick. Palmer putting on some pressure at the moment and winning and causing a foul. He's not happy about that, how quickly went down. And
one of the words was off.
Yes, and for those of us that are watching, by all means, so confirmation here, Paul Mullen is departing, taking no chances with that hamstring problem. Scored one penalty, missed one, an absolutely astonishing effort by him today. Really has been led the line of attack fantastically as well. As is Andy Cannon, that's also departed. Phil Parkinson making 2 final changes available to him. And these changes, we will confirm it to you. But Mullen really has run his socks off today, but it hasn't been the case. Elliot Lee coming on, former West Ham player, signed from Charlton. And Jake Bickerstaff, just to let you know, is the other Welshman in the squad for Wrexham today. So Wales 2, Wales 1 in Sheffield United versus Wrexham. But between Sheffield United and Wrexham, the score is 1 apiece. Apparently that's me. You can call me Elliot Lee, according to the co-commentator. Journeyman footballer, 28 years old, signed from Charlton, yet to score. One if it's the big day for him. Palmer looking for the ball over top to Bickerstaff. Hasn't got there. It's a rush clearance and Young trying to win it. McAtee, here's Norwood. Plays it out wide. Has he played it too far out wide? No, it's well controlled by Basham in the end. Norwood. Crossfields. Lovely header back in looking for Ndai, and that's good defending by Kelworth. Here's McAtee. Here's Ndai. Osborne for Sheffield United. Norwood runs near him. Ndai again. McAtee. Burgess in the area. It is Ndai. Basham. Did he think about the shot? Burge. Can he go for the shot? He might. He does. It takes a wicked deflection. It's going to be a Sheffield United corner. And I guess with the fact that Sheffield United have lost their Sheffield United know that Wrexham have lost their main goal scorer, that could change it. But don't discount Elliot Lee. Lots been made of the man. Signed from Charlton Athletic. Could he be online to turn this game around? It really has been a fantastic second half. One of the best. It's had just about everything at the moment. Will it be heartbreak or delight for either side? Norwood's corner, swing into the near post. Palmer gets it away for Wrexham. Strong header, but it'll come back to Norwood over on the far side, being chased down by Bickerstaff. Now it's Osborne again. Sweeping ball into the area. Palmer again. Good defending, diving and getting it away, showing that the big man can certainly defend as much as he attacks. And Sheffield United may sense this is their opportunity. The pressure's going on. A reminder that if we are level at full time, we will have extra time. And if we are level after that, dare I say it, a penalty competition. And Leighton just punches the corner away. It's McAtee looking to hit one. It's well scouted in the end. And it's just a long clearance all the way there from Thomas O'Connor. It's back to Adam Davis. Jake Bickerstaff trying to chase down Johnson. And now at the moment is James Jones. But Sheffield United have picked it up for Ilman Ndai. Running, looking for chances. McAtee. McAtee thinks about a hit. Burge. Does he think about a hit? He does. He goes right across goal. It's not even going to go out for a corner. Goodness gracious, it's gone out for a throw. Well, there's efforts on targets go. You see what Burge is trying to do. Put it across goal. In the end, he's caught it, and it's just rolled wide, and it's gone out for a throw, which is right in the corner for Wrexham. Not an ideal place to have a throw, but when Ben Tozer can get 30, 40 yards on it, you can certainly make use of it. For all those tuning in at the moment on Trevor Sports, thank you very much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and make sure you've hit that notification button for all these games. And it's not the last time we're going to cover Wrexham this season. I can certainly tell you that. Mainly because they're going to play the mighty Aldershot. No, we will look to sort of cover more football throughout the season. And the ball is back to Leighton, who has had an outstanding game for him. And you really couldn't tell at the moment, if I could give any compliment to Wrexham, you wouldn't tell at the moment which is the championship side. Not that the quality is down, it's the quality is good between both these sides. It's a full-blooded cup tie, and we're getting to the final 5 minutes. Folks, do not go anywhere. Whatever you're doing, grab yourself. Get ready to put that kettle on in about 5-6 minutes or so. It may be pop, kettle and black. Oh, Billy Sharp nearly did it for Sheffield United. A long ball floated over the top by Norwood. Good control on the chest. Took a second attempt and flashed it wide. And that is a huge chance. Another one for Sheffield United.
Big moment, that one. If Billy Sharp was properly sharp, he probably would have had a hat-trick today. But he's just missing that little bit of sparkle with his final touch, isn't he? He's had good chances today. He just hasn't quite been able to make it happen.
Hasn't indeed. So Jade, it says, let's see what's happened. Fire emoji. This game has been on fire. Paul Heckingbottom and Phil Parkinson, credit to the way in which they've set up both sides, and they've really gone for this. And comment on the at the moment the current record views that we have on Trevor Sports. We welcome that you've all joined us. There goes Palmer, little touch by Bickerstaff. I just needed to take a touch quicker than he did. It's broken to Illman of Sheffield United into space. Is this going to be heartbreak for Wrexham at the moment? Overlapping run by Max Lowe. Good defending had to be made at the moment by the Wrexham captain Luke Young, and it's gone out for a throw in, and it nearly was heartbreak there at the moment. So Max Lowe had charged forwards. And straight away, here's Robinson demanding a towel from the ball boy. That stands ready.
We could have a good chunk of stoppage time as well with the flares that we had earlier.
Very good point. We could have 4 or 5 minutes or so. So don't think this game's all over yet. There's plenty more to come in terms of the rest of this game. Long throw. 5 in the area for Sheffield United. It's just a brilliant header in the way by Elliot Lee to get it away at the last second. Norwood teasing ball in. Oh, yes, there it is. No, it isn't. It isn't. The goal does not stand. Billy Sharp's got it in the back of the net, but it won't count. The flag's gone up. It's offside. It remains 1-1.
Oh, goodness. He has literally done everything. He's even put the ball in the back of the net, but it still doesn't count. Is he offside is the question. Yes. He is off. It's very cut and dry, that one, I'm afraid. But cracking finish, best finish he's put in all day. It just doesn't count. Goalkeeper got a hand on it as well. He can literally reach more or less everything. But yes, offside. I'm afraid. 2 minutes to go.
It would be heartbreaking if that was to happen, based on the performance that Wrexham have had in this game, and they have put in an outstanding effort. But as things stand, it's Sheffield United is finishing stronger. We will go through the other scores very quickly. Burnley Ipswich is still 1-1. Fleetwood still lead Sheffield United 1-0. Grimsby still lead Luton 3-0. They might have been the games and the goals in the first half. The second half has belonged to this match at Bramall Lane, showing us that the FA Cup is certainly with us. 90 seconds of the 90 to go. Here is Burge. He's got away from McKinnon. It's Burge. It's pulled back into space. It's just setting up for someone to hit one. It hit a huge deflection in the area. It's gone out. It's another corner in the end. It was Norwood's strike. He's going to run over and take the corner. And we're coming up to the 90th minute of the match. Sheffield United won. Wrexham won. Sheffield United pushing to try and win the match. There is nobody sitting down behind the goal at Bramall Lane. Really has been nail-biting stuff. Norwood's ball in. The header down, and header has gone over. It's over the bar from Lowe. What a chance that was. Oh, Max Lowe to win the game.
It's just one of these games, isn't it? It's just ping-ponged around the box a little bit. Lovely header, cushioned header downwards, crying for somebody to smash it in, but somehow Max Lowe has got under the ball and skewered it way over and wide. How many more chances is Sheffield United going to create? We've got 30 seconds of normal time. I don't know how much stoppage time we're going to have, but I reckon it'll be at least 3 minutes.
Well,
There's going to be 6, actually. I've heard there's going to be 6.
6 minutes of time added on. Is it 6 minutes that could change either club's FA Cup run this season? And it's certainly looking like the Championship side are determined to try and win this in normal time. Swansea to come for them 3 o'clock on Saturday. Here's Egan, who's won just about everything in the air, corner or defensive at the moment. 90 minutes. We will play 6 more to confirm with you. So, folks, hold off on that cup of tea. You can stick the kettle on in a few minutes. You may be sticking the kettle on as things stands for 30 minutes more, which I would not complain about. This game certainly has lived up to the hype today. Best game of the 4th round. And you're looking at the scores at the moment. Best game of the replays. And it's not the only game that could be heading to extra time. Burnley and Ipswich could be. We'll keep you updated, but that is still 1-1 at Turf Moor. This is low for Sheffield United, who had that chance off the header down from Egan. And Sheffield United, through Robinson, looking to play it down into the channel again, over on the far side. Cleared first time by Max Clearworth. It's gone out. It'll be a throw-in for Sheffield United for Low to take. Wrexham fans, well, what an evening they're having. Oh, it's a chance for McAtee to burst through into the box. Illman pulls it back. The strike takes a horrible deflection and goes over. Huge appeals at the moment for penalty. Norwood strike. Referee Lee Doherty is unmoved. Says no. I guess the corner will have to stand. Norwood is incensed. He believes this is a spot kick.
Let's have a look. Ooh, I tell you what.
He's got a case there.
He does. He's got a big case that's come off the elbow of the defender of Lee.
It has indeed, hasn't it?
It has blocked the ball. That should be a penalty. Goodness me.
Well, it's just another twist in the tail of the game. And if the VAR was available, the corner's coming now. Watching it. Ian gets the header down. First time clearance by Kilworth. Gets it away. First time. McAtee now, who's got pressure at the moment from Elliot Lee. McAtee, just plays it right through his legs into space. Chance for Burge is struck Palmer. Now can Wrexham, can they play it away? 4 minutes of time added on and a foul which probably had to be made. Yeah, referee's got his card out for a professional foul. And who was it who's calling over? We shall find out for you very shortly. It is Sander Burge that is booked. Professional foul. They used to be just a referee saying, don't do that again, and maybe you have to get a round in. Now it's a yellow card, and in some cases, a red. But that's the advantages of football matches at the moment. Sheffield United won.
One team that will be loving this will be Middlesbrough. Currently watching both Burnley and Sheffield United go to extra time before midweek fixtures. Very much to the third place. They're a long way behind Middlesbrough, but they'll be sitting there going, "Oh, could be some injuries. Could some exhaustion play into the league?"
Well, you say that with Wrexham, the fact Paul Mullin has gone off with that hamstring problem, so there could be the potential there that in terms of his season over. This is Bickerstaff trying to find space. Palmer bursting forward. Ollie Palmer thought about the shot, gets the shot away. It ricochets in the area. There was options out wide. Wasn't able to take them. Norwood's ball away. Oh, it hasn't been cleared. It has to Billy Sharp. He's got to come forward past Tozer. Sharp has won the game. Surely for Sheffield United. At long last, the captain, who just hasn't been at the races, may have knocked the side out from the racecourse. It's come 3.5 minutes into time added on. A defensive error that had to be made. Billy Sharp, skipper, to strike his 3rd goal of the season. And Sheffield United, I think they've broken Wrexham's hearts.
I mean, Billy Sharp has done everything before this but score. And look at this. It comes out the opportunity of Wrexham having a shot deflected. It's a wonderful ball forward to Billy Sharp. The defender misreads it. Is that tiredness coming into effect? Billy Sharp, the experienced man that he is, just checks his run slightly to send the defender the wrong way, buy himself a little bit of space, and this time he makes no mistake. Bottom right-hand corner, low to the goalkeeper's left. Goalkeeper can't get down quick enough. Expertly finished. And that is probably all she wrote. Well, but we don't know. We've got another couple of minutes.
You feel for Max Clearworth here, though, in that respect. It was his mistake. It has meant that Sheffield United have retaken the lead in this game so late in the day. Apologise for the squeak in the voice, but it has been that sort of match. Palmer looking to win it. It's floated up in the area to Young, headed it down. Ricochet to Bickerstaff. Now, is there a chance? There's lots of officials that have appeared behind the Wrexham fans, and they have a throw in. Lowe's cleared it away. We've got 1 minute and 10 seconds to go of this match, plus perhaps a little bit of time on for celebrations made in that. This is Bickerstaff, and this is the effort here which is claimed. I don't think you can call that a foul, handball, but we've seen them given.
Yeah, VAR would probably give that. But
right.
Then does that equalise? Yes.
Looking for Palmer, I would imagine. Egan gets there again. He's been brilliant heading it away. Robinson this time gets it away. Now it's a chance to break away for Ndai. This could be the counter-attack that finishes the game. McAtee is ahead at the moment. Here he goes. Will he lay it back for Norwood? He's sent down. Good defending. Oh, it's broken back to McAtee. And Burge will finish it off. And that settles it now. Sheffield United will be at home to Tottenham Hotspur in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Welcome to Sheffield, Wrexham. For Wrexham, it's this wonderful Hollywood story, but it looks like their cup run, well, it is confirmed now, their cup run's going to come to an end in a fantastic match.
Well, they gave it a good go, didn't they, Wrexham? It's harsh on them. The scoreline is probably a bit harsh on them, but goodness me, Sheffield United, they waited and waited and waited. They weathered the storm of that early second half, and they've just worn Wrexham down. And ultimately, in the later stages of the match, they've just been able to keep the afterburners going just that little bit longer. Mistakes have been made by Wrexham as tiredness kicks in, and they've just had that little bit of extra quality to make the difference in the final third in this second half. And it's a lovely ball through, and Burge absolutely smashes it top left-hand corner from 7 yards out. Goalkeeper Leighton, who's had a superb game, hasn't really had much to do with the 3 goals. He couldn't do anything about them. But yeah, it's harsh on Wrexham. It's a heartbreaking scenario for them, but they've given it a good go, and they should be proud of their efforts.
Well, one would have to look back at the penalty that was brilliantly saved by Adam Davis from Paul Mullin. If that goes in, it's 2-1 Wrexham. It's a different game, but as you said many times, Chris, it's all about the way in which these ifs and buts, which changes a game. And here today, Sheffield United 3-1 up, and Bramall Lane is bouncing. They will feel aggrieved with that, but let's not forget the Wrexham fans are making a fantastic bit of noise for their players who've put in an almighty shift this evening. Really, you couldn't tell that there were 70 places between them in the footballing pyramid. A fantastic performance, but it's not to be in the end. I can confirm 2 full-time results. Fleetwood Town have beaten Sheffield Wednesday 1-0, and was substitute back to made. And Grimsby have beaten Luton by 3-0. So an upset that has taken place, but a final change made for the game, and it's James McAtee has come off, and Andre Brooks comes on for just the last few moments of this game. So that confirms another change by Paul Hickenbottom. For Wrexham, well, they're going to continue to push as much as they can, but it would be impossible for them to try and get an equaliser, 2 goals in no time, especially when they've not got the ball. Burge. And there is the full-time whistle of a game which really has delivered. It was an outstanding contest between Sheffield United and Wrexham. It was going the distance, we thought. An upset Billy Sharp in the 93rd minute to sneak an equaliser. Sander Burge went ahead and finished it off. Paul Mullin missed a penalty with the scores tied at 1-1 and went off with a potential hamstring strain, as Phil Parkinson may very much have eyes on promotion in Wealdstone on Saturday. But for Sheffield United, a big result for them. They move on and they will host Tottenham Hotspur in the 5th round of the Cup full time. It is Sheffield United 3. It is Wrexham 1.
Thanks, Trevor. Wow. What a second half that was. Maybe even a bit more explosive than what happened in the what's happened in the second half at the racecourse ground. Wrexham are out. And I have to say, Russ, they have well and truly done themselves proud to get this far. We're just waiting for Russ to come back in. We appear to have some.
I'm here. I mean, Nick, sorry about that, my friend. So as I was gonna say, Nick, I think when no one expected Wrexham to get this far in the competition, everyone were expecting probably to go out in the third round or in the fourth round in the first game against Sheffield United. They've done well to get to a replay, but they were unlucky not to be taking the lead when they had that second penalty. I'm not sure if the first one was. I think it was just outside of the area, but I've seen them given, so to speak, which a lot of people say nowadays. I think it's going to be a good. I think Wrexham can be very unlucky not to get into the fifth round against Tottenham Hotspur at home, which would have been another massive crowd for them at home as well. And while me and Nick have got some results from the other matches taking place in the FA Cup this evening, is currently still being played, and they're into 9 additional minutes at Turf Moor, and it is currently Burnley 2, Ipswich 1. Nathan Teller has scored twice there, and George as well. Teller scored in the 94th minute to get Burnley back into the lead. So if JB's listening, he'll be pretty happy with that. Fleetwood, as Trev mentioned, have beaten Sheffield Wednesday by 1-0, and Grimsby have knocked out Luton by 3-0 in that game there. And in that game in the Championship, where there was a game on in the Championship this evening, he's finished Blackpool 2, Huddersfield Town 2. Huddersfield played against 10 men for the entirety of the second half and could only drop points again. They went in lead through Pearson. Lions equalised on 82. They went back in front on 87 through Karoma. Then in the 90th minute, Josh Bowler made it 2-2 in the game between Blackpool and Huddersfield in the Championship. In League One, Port Vale 1, Accrington 1 is a full-time scoreline. Accrington finished the game with 10 men. Worrell pressing up the score for Accrington before Worrell equalised. Rogers sent off in the 75th minute in League One, just for people who may be interested. In League Two, Crewe 0, Leyton Orient 2 in the game there, and Doncaster 2, Tranmere 0. In the National League, just to round up in there, still being played is Chesterfield 1, Woking 3, Halifax 1, Barnet 3, Maidenhead 1, Southend 2, Oldham 4, Dagenham and Redbridge 2, York City 2, Solihull Moors 3, and I can tell our co-commentator and one of our listeners, JB, that it is finished at Turf Moor. It is finished Burnley 2, Ipswich Town 1. Away. Nathan Taylor goal in second half stoppage time. The difference at Turf Moor today. But let's get back to this game, Nick. And like I was saying, Wrexham can be all their heads high with their performance and how far they got in the FA Cup this season. Well, I just want to ask Chris Wyman a question. And Chris, who was your player of the match this evening in the game at Bramall Lane? Because Trevor has gone for Rob Lainton, the Wrexham goalkeeper. Would you agree with that, or have you got someone else in mind?
I would absolutely agree with that. It was very much an outstanding performance from the Wrexham goalkeeper, and he kept them in the game. He made a crucial save in the early in the second half to keep it 1-0, and then obviously they go and get a penalty, which they equalised from, and he kept him in touching distance all game long. There wasn't much he could do about the actual goals himself, but he was top notch today, and very unlucky to be on the losing side.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. He was, Chris. But for Sheffield United to go through to the fifth round against Tottenham Hotspur, where do they go from here? Surely they've got to concentrate now on their. Surely they've now got to concentrate on their promotion push. But surely another step in the FA Cup will be just nice for them.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely,
absolutely.
Nick.
Okay.
And
Both of us.
sorry, Chris. I'll let you jump in a second. But yeah, Nick, absolutely, my friend. The focus will be on getting promoted. That's the main aim in this season for Sheffield United and Paul Eckingbottom. But when you look at it as well, Nick, you can see the current run and promotion won't do them any harm. Yes, there'll be extra games. Yes, they'll have more games postponed and more games to play later in the season, which can hinder their promotion hopes. But if they can continue to get the points in the league, they won't mind that they're in the FA Cup, and we'll have to see where this goes. What were you going to say there, Chris?
I was just going to say, yeah, it's an FA Cup run is always good for morale, regardless of how your league season is going. It can become a distraction, but for Sheffield United, I think it's a welcome distraction because they've got quite a nice buffer to third place, so they can probably have a good go at the FA Cup if they want to this year. So yeah, and obviously for Tottenham, this is a potential banana skin for, the FA Cup is probably going to be Tottenham's only chance to win a trophy this year. And Sheffield United, they were very smart in this match. They weathered the storm. They let Wrexham burn themselves out, and then obviously the last 10 minutes they really piled the pressure on and eventually shone through. So I don't think Tottenham will be looking forward to a game against this lot. So interesting next round for Sheffield United. And as for Wrexham, obviously, valiant effort. It has to be said. They played really well. They didn't look like a non-league side at all in this. They very much could have been a championship side as well. So they've done themselves proud, and obviously now they can just keep their eyes firmly on promotion, which would be thoroughly deserved based on the efforts over the last 2 seasons.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, they would. We're just coming up to the end of time.
Nick, just before we do go, I'm just going to let people know who the other teams have got in the next round of the FA Cup. Grimsby Town, who got past Luton tonight, they'll be facing Southampton at St Mary's on the 1st of March, 7:15 kickoff in the UK. Also on that day at 7:30, it'll be Burnley against Fleetwood Town.
Lancashire Derby.
At 7:30, and yes, the Lancashire Derby. And as we mentioned, Sheffield United will face Tottenham. That will kick off at 7:55 also on the 1st of March. Tomorrow, we won't be covering this one, but Sunderland or Fulham will be facing Leeds United at 7:45 on the Tuesday, the 28th of February. Check out your other places where you get your football news and scores from to find out who faces Leeds United in the 5th round. Will it be Fulham or will it be the repeat of the 1973 FA Cup final against Sunderland, which will be exactly 50 years at the end of this season if it was to be the final, but it won't be. It'll be repeated that in the 5th round. So should Sunderland get through, but if Sunderland do get through, there is a problem for the Black Cats. They will not have a striker available. One of the main strikers is out injured for the season in Ross Stewart. Joe Geller on loan from Leeds can't play after already featuring for Leeds United in the FA Cup. And Ellis Sims was recalled back at the beginning of January back to Everton. So they'll be well out of strike for that game with the window now closed. So if Sunderland get through, it'll be interesting to see how they go on without a striker up against a new look Leeds United, who could be getting, as things stand and looking like, Arne Slot from Feyenoord as their next manager. I'm not sure who that is. I'll do a research piece on him if it is going to be him. Want to know when he's going to be confirmed. The piece out on the Commentary Hub and the Commentary Hub 2 with my thoughts and my reaction to the news and what you could potentially expect at Leeds United under him. But one bit of news I can tell you, if it is going to be on a slot, is that former Arsenal and Manchester United striker Robin van Persie is part of his coaching setup. So he'll be making a return to the Premier League.
Yes, that would be an interesting addition. So that just about wraps up our coverage of the FA Cup. Thank you very much to Russ, Thank you very much to us for his insights as a pundit, and also to our commentary team of Trevor Sports and Chris Whiteman. You have made a wonderful contribution, and also thank you to our listeners for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Good night.